Tonight on World Class B. After launching Wokebusters, Jeff glows with excitement at what the future brings. Chocolate Thunder, not one to ever not glow, lets his soul glow through after subjecting his family to another viewing of Terminator Dark Fate. Nick, back from his trip to the future, has the results of the Olympic Games. And what about Kendo? Well, he'll be here an hour later, but he will be here. All that and more on tonight's episode of World Class B. Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're coming at you hotter than the rest of the internet because a lot of bullshit is going on, and I'm gonna talk about it.
Folks, we are going to have a very fun show like we've had the last few weeks, so let's keep this thing rolling by introducing the Bombay bad boy himself, Big Red Nick Utam.
Glad to be here this wonderful Thursday night. This has been one hell of a fucking week with a lot of news, so let's get started.
Yeah, folks, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So, real quick, if you are a diehard WCBS fan, you could have seen me 3 times today. First on the side scrollers, second on the video, which we know you watch, and third here on tonight's show. So, folks, if you did that, press 1 in the chat right now. But no matter who you are, no matter where you are, hit that thumbs up button. Folks, we talk to YouTube. We understand exactly what we can do to get past this algorithm problem. And all we need from you is to watch more of our content that is directly from YouTube. So, folks, if you could go through, watch our stuff, hit that thumbs up button. That is helping WCBS change the world of entertainment that way as well. But, folks, make sure you check out today's episode of The Side Scrollers. I was on with Craig Blabs and Raging Rhino. We had a lot of fun talking about Star Wars and the world of entertainment as a whole. But, of course, WCBS is here tonight on a Thursday to give you some of our world-class entertainment, as we always do each and every week. Now, folks, I'm not going to bombard you with this for more than 10 seconds, but folks, go to Kickstarter right now. Check out the Wokebusters campaign. We're already at 7% of the way there, and I haven't done anything. I haven't put out the email list. I haven't done anything. It's already moving. But folks, I'd like us to hit 10% tonight. There's a ton of tiers. There's all kinds of stuff. That's only 9 books, 2 combos, or 1 artist box. Let's break some records with Wokebusters, folks. Check it out, wokebusterscomic.com. Other than that, it's time for the show. So, Nick, you have seen a movie over the weekend which has been catching a lot of people's attention. It's the biggest talking point on the internet this week. We've had a successful video covering. It's Furiosa, the movie that just isn't really hitting across the board. Now, Dion, you saw it too, according to your miming. So, folks, Dion saw it as well. Now, guys, there are a lot of things that people are saying about this movie. But what I'm seeing from a lot of fans and critics critics like it, and fans say it's not this woke dumpster fire girl boss movie that nobody really thought it would be outside of the press. So, guys, what did you think of this film, Furiosa? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I did enjoy it. It wasn't a perfect ride, pun intended. Little joke there. I did enjoy it. Overall, I would definitely say that I enjoyed the ride. It addressed a lot of concerns, and there are definitely ways that it complicates the future. But yeah, man, I had a good time. I took the family to go see it. There are a lot of things that it gets right. I'll say that there are a lot of things.
Did the family stay engaged the whole movie? Like, did the kids look like they liked it?
Devin, for sure. I mean, but he's turning 12. D2, he's a year and a half younger than Devin. He just turned 10. He fell asleep. So he fell asleep during the movie. So there, take that as you will. But the oldest, yeah, he enjoyed it. He was engaged the entire time, and obviously that's a lot, because it was a 2.5 hour movie.
Thank you, Caffeinated Wolf. Nick, you saw the film as well, and we had an interesting conversation about some sleeping in your theater. Tell us about that first, and then tell us what you thought of the movie.
I want to say the last 15 minutes or so, like, we heard a guy audibly snore about like 2 rows in front of us, like 2 or 3 rows in front of us, and he was just like and it's one of those things where, like, if somebody's snoring, that they fell asleep at least like a few minutes before that. And like that, and I sympathize because that ending was just like drawn out, man. God, it was just too much. And even then, like I went on a Saturday like 9:30 at a pretty well-known theater here in Atlanta, a pretty centrally located one, and like it was probably like maybe 20 to 30 people in the whole theater.
Damn.
You know, it wasn't packed, and we're talking prime time on the on Saturday. And I know it was a Labor Day weekend, and whatever, but still, it just
Memorial.
Yeah, well, sorry, Memorial. Labor Day's coming up. But yeah, Memorial.
Listen to the back of this one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just and one thing is I was with some friends and we kept checking our phones and seeing what time it was.
Ooh,
And
that's
I was
not
just like,
good.
Because it was one of those things where it's like, Chris Hemsworth did a good job. He like really embodied that ridiculous character that he was putting onto the nose and the teeth and the whole thing. Like he did good. Ann Taylor-Joy did really good as well, but it just didn't have, the same kind of action and punch and like stuff, and the same like energy the previous one did. So.
I've read a lot of stuff about it, and it seems like it's mildly disappointing that it's flopping as hard as it is, and it seems like it's multiple reasons. But one of the reasons I want to ask you your opinion of this is people are kind of burned out on this stuff, and the climate's kind of given people, I guess, a wrong opinion about this movie. Is it bereft of a lot of the stuff that people in our audience would not like? Is it pretty non-woke, as they would say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there's no blatant like, oh, I'm a woman, hear me roar kind of bullshit. It's just like it's literally her trying to survive. It's literally her just trying to survive and not die. That's what it really is.
So then this movie suffers from the climate created by other crappy marketing, essentially, right?
Yes.
That sucks. That sucks right there.
Yeah.
My only pushback on it is it's that's definitely a part of it. That definitely is a part of it. At the other side of it, when you look at it as someone who sat down and watched the movie, it's just not that good. And I see what you guys are saying, and that is going to be a factor for sure. If that's something that is, has been in your peripheral for the last few years, that may affect how you see the film. But it's just not that good. Anna Taylor-Joy is good. Chris Hemsworth is good. It is this movie, not because it's if the whole that all that shit, but they are trying to make Furiosa on the same level as Max. In the movie, it is every bit of 2.5 hours, and that's coming from someone who liked it. It is it's not like the first one where there's a lot of story and not a lot of practical action, but the story is good, so you can put up with it. It's not like the second one where it is just constant shit happening. It's not like Beyond Thunderdome where they try to squeeze in a story into an action movie where there's still great action, but the story is you're like, oh, okay. It's not like Fury Road where it's just bang, 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 bang. You at the ending in reference to what Nick says, it is a very heavy-handed ending. It doesn't end like the rest of them with a climactic vehicle battle. It ends with a very metaphorical story-based ending, and you do not get the same vehicular manslaughter that you do in the other ones. You don't get that same Mad Max feeling, but they want you to feel that it's Mad Max so bad, and it's hilarious that they do it that way. But it's still pretty good. It's still, I liked it a lot. But overall, it's just George Miller tried too hard in this. He tried and not be, he did not handle it the same way he handled Fury Road.
No, he did not.
I feel very little desire to rush out and see this, and I'm gonna just wait till it hits streaming because Dune's out now, and I'm like, oh, okay, now it's time to sit down and watch both Dune movies. And then this looks interesting enough to watch it when it's streaming. I like Mad Max. I think Mad Max is a bitchin' franchise. Beyond Thunderdome is not my favorite, but my point is, I like Mad Max, but I like Mad Max, so I will watch this when it costs nothing but my time. So
the issues that affect this movie ironically enough, don't deal with those, the post-political climate that we're in. All the issues you could feel, all the actors are doing their dance. Like there's no one that's really bad in it. Even when they're addressing her mom, like they wrap it up in an action scene, but the rest of it, there's a lot of CGI. The part of the beauty of Mad Max, even for the people who didn't like Fury Road, is it is very heavy on practical effects, and this one is not. Like they are in, you can tell that they are in a soundstage. You can see that typical stage lighting, and there's a lot of the backgrounds are green screen. A lot of the action is green screen, and it's just. Yeah, it's in the Mad Max world, but the whole movie you're just like Furiosa, and that's the story. And you're like, we already liked her. We saw the other movie, assholes.
Yeah,
but you can tell that there were things that they forgot about by the way they tell the story.
Yeah,
and they assume that the audience forgot it too, even though they put in a Mad Max saga. They still treat it like we have to retell her whole thing.
Well, yeah, that's what people want. Retellings of shit from a world without the main character.
It was a little irritating. And also, like, it seemed the majority of the movie took place when she was like a little kid, which was really weird. And also, like, they did some sort of like they took the little girl and they composited Ann Taylor-Joy's face on hers and make it younger. So they euthanized the little girl.
That's weird.
In the words of Kendo.
Yeah, by the way, Kendo will be here later tonight, folks. He's taking care of some business. He's on his way. We have a quiz and everything.
Yeah.
But back to the euthanize.
But yeah, it was weird because like it's very visible. Like when you see somebody's like CG face, you know it's CG. You can just tell.
Nah.
And it was just like, I guess they took pictures of her when she was a kid and then tried to make this girl look like her and do the whole thing. And I was like, okay.
Couldn't they just have an actor, play the different character, come back in later on with a different actor playing that character? Like, is it really that hard for audiences to go, oh, it's the child version?
I agree with that because I mean we've seen movies like that for years where it's like, oh, the kid is the kid actor is this thing, and then it's like 10 years later, 20 years later, oh, they're an adult, and
he becomes Superman.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen that before, and it's like we know the difference. But for some reason in this one, I guess they were trying to really flex their wallets. I don't know, and make the entire thing like in somebody's garage on a green screen. So that seemed like what they were doing.
Controlled environments, my man. That is the future of movie making. Well, movie making may be around, but movie theaters may not be. We'll talk about that a little later tonight, folks.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff out there in the ether to cover. But we have to start our show like we always do with the word of the day, brought to you by Shrebels 08. The word of the day is cream pie. Stop or my cream pie Stop or my cream pie will shoot. How Stella ate her cream pie, fistful of cream pie, and born in cream pie. Bridge on the river. Bridge on the river cream pie.
Red cream pie.
I haven't done that.
Cream pie, a Mad Max saga. Sorry.
There you go.
American cream pie?
American cream pie. Oh god, I feel like that one was on by Axel Braun. Had to be.
Yeah, I saw that one. It's a classic. One where I dressed up as a man from space. Let's see what other cream pies we got off the top of our heads. The cream pie busters.
Mm-hmm.
Cream
Frozen
pie all the way.
God.
What was it? Cream pie.
Okay. A cream pie story.
Goodwill cream pie.
White cream pie.
Black cream pie.
I already said it.
Fine.
Boo! You gotta down your drink. I already said it.
Slumdog cream pie.
Oh,
Drink
God.
it.
Oh God!
I don't have any booze tonight. Sorry.
One flew over the cream pie nest. I don't know.
Yep.
Oh, our friend Master Marvelous is in romancing the cream pie.
Enter the cream pie. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
I think cream pie is an excellent word of the day. Shrubbles 08.
I wonder if YouTube's
Right.
algorithm is smart enough to like catch it. Like I'm really wondering.
I don't think YouTube's as smart as everyone gives it credit for, having talked to YouTube this week. Like, our problems are silly.
He said it.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, they're like, you can do two things: ask your audience to engage more, or pay us to list your video. I was like, so folks, let's beat this algorithm together and watch
beat
more.
beat it into a cream pie. I don't know.
Beat the cream pie out of the algorithm and help us grow to 200 a day. We ain't stopping anytime soon until all the cream pies have been laid.
Yeah, we're gonna cream pie till we're never mind.
We're gonna cream pie the White House, or whatever that fucking guy said all those years ago. So, romancing the cream pie and TLJ Screwjob just sent one in. New Jack Cream Pie, the wrestler or the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the response you get.
Yeah. I don't want to know New Jack Cream Pie stories. I know they're out there with Terry Runnels, Grimes.
I think he's referencing New Jack City. Not the homicidal wrestler.
It says New Jack Cream Pie, the wrestler or the movie. I have a choice.
Why would you pick the wrestler? We're gonna pretend that he just meant the movie because those New Jack.
We're gonna pretend it for comfort.
Damn.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun ones. Curious Case of Cream Pie, Sleepless in Cream Pie.
Oh my god.
Oh man, who else we got? Return of the Cream Pie, folks. Have fun. RJ McCready. Oh, that's a wrestling deep cut. Thank you very much for that one. We'll have to let me take a picture of that and remind Kendo of it when he gets here. Ooh, Jurassic Cream Pie. That sounds like an Axel Braun movie. Don't want to watch.
There you go.
And it's like honey, man. Maybe it got put in a tomb and it's just as fresh as it was as the day it was made.
Sure.
I don't think that's how that works, Dion.
Whatever you say, man.
Don't think that's how that works. So this is how we work on WCBS. We have an interesting headline. Now, guys, I found this minutes before we went on the air, so I didn't put it in any of the show notes. But this headline, have you ever read a headline that is so dumb for like the wrong reasons that you just laugh at it?
Yes.
Oh.
This one broke me, and it's really not that crazy. I'll explain to you why I couldn't stop laughing. Theater issues apology over Richard Dreyfuss's reportedly distressing and offensive comments about transgenders, LGBTQ community, Me Too, and Barbara Streisand. Now, I understand you would make an article about all of these things, but the Barbara Streisand part really just fucking made me chuckle. Like, oh no, what do you say about Barbara Streisand? Did her record suck? This and that. Yeah, it was just a funny headline. Let me pull it up so everyone can check it out. Have you guys heard about Richard Dreyfuss's situation at the
I did. I didn't look into it, but I did. I also saw the title, and that's what made me laugh about it. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna follow up on that.
Well, let me give you some context because it's a little different. Well, we don't really know any of it. Hear me out. Here's the story. Richard Dreyfuss has sparked the ire of transgender ideology activists. Well, this comes from Bounding Into Comics, reportedly making comments about transgender children to the Me Too movement, the LGBT community, and Barbara Streisand, prompting the venue to issue a formal apology to the distress caused by the actor's remarks. Per the Daily Mail, the actor reportedly made these comments during a Q&A session at the Cabot Theater following a special draw screening. Unfortunately, what the actor specifically said is still unclear since the event was not broadcast. Most information comes from members of the audience who claimed Richard Dreyfuss made sexist, homophobic comments. He started the night out coming out with a dress on, dancing to Taylor Swift, saying this was an LGBT moment. What? Okay, anyway. What do you think of this story now that we have a little more context? Because, well, it's kind of crazy.
I mean, he's fucking 82, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with if he said what they're, I won't even say alleging, hoping that he said. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to agree with any of that. if you know, but again, we don't know, and it's
It will
just
never
very
know.
interesting. Well, like you know, you and I have said it multiple times on the show. You know, it's now become such a symbiotic ecosystem. You know, where you know people, especially on certain websites, are looking for specific types of titles they think are going to get engagement. So, you know, literally outside of the title, the article is essentially he might have said some shit and no one recorded it, and even we don't know. But the title is, you know, and he talked about Barbra Streisand. They didn't even really mention what he said about Barbra Streisand, you know, and it's all what people heard, what they told them that they heard, you know. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, fuck, I don't know what he said. If he said something messed up, I don't agree with it, but he was also in Jaws that came out 50 years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your heroes aren't gonna say everything right at all times.
Would you like to hear
shit?
Would you like to hear the Richard Dreyfuss remarks about Barbra Streisand?
Yeah.
Please.
What horribly offensive thing did they say about Barbra Streisand that we just like are clutching our pearls right now?
Here's how I'm going to start describing most news stories. But wait, it gets dumber. According to another source, Daily Mail reports the Jaws actors said nuts suck because women are passive before he talked about the Me Too movement. It just kept going with homophobic and racist comments. Consulted the Me Too movement. It says yet another alleged unnamed member of the audience claimed the actor had said. He said that society shouldn't be listening to some 10-year-old who doesn't know what they want to be. Said they want to be a boy instead of a girl. So these are the levels of comments that Richard Dreyfuss made. And because we won't get the full article or the full video because it's not broadcast, this is the best we have. So he said the movie sucked because women are passive.
He said this about Jaws?
He said the women in the movie are passive?
Yes, he just said women are passive. It's all it says. It says he said nuts suck because women are passive before he talked about the hashtag.
So basically, old white guy says something slightly like out of pocket, and people fucking lose their shit. This is where we are.
Well, again, I wouldn't even say it's people. It's bounding into comics. Comics lost their shit.
No.
What I mean, like it's
fair enough.
Well, hold on. This is from the Daily Mail that lost their shit.
It's the Daily Mail. You know,
this is what we're just repeating what was said from the Daily Mail. This isn't bounding into comics making this up.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. The Daily Mail, and we're making fun of that because, like,
Jesus Christ.
My bad, comic. You know, you done other shit. You know, so I got a little. You know, I made a fucking assessment that wasn't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? All right, but Daily Mail, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was blowing my mind. Bounding into Comics wrote the Barbra Streisand part, and that's what got my attention. I'm like, oh shit, Barbra Streisand. What did he say about her? Like, I'm sure she deserved it because, you know, it's Barbra Streisand. That's it. There you go. So, folks, that's why we always show you our sources in all of the videos and all of the live streams, so you can make up your own mind about the veracity of the source, aka the Daily Mail. So, anything else that's pretty much it for Richard Dreyfuss. Now, folks, like we keep saying, Kendo is gonna be here in a little bit.
Here's the thing.
He's 80 years old. He's like, that's pretty much it. It was pretty much it a while ago.
Dude, no. I've heard from people who run horror conventions where he's done a few of them lately, and they're just like, yeah, we hate dealing with him. I'm just like, really? I wonder why. He's a curmudgeon, like 76-year-old fucking man. Like, what did you expect?
Right.
He's known for like probably like 3 things.
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yep.
Jaws.
Okay. Yes.
Stand by Me.
He's in a ton of stuff, but I can't think of it all.
Close Encounters.
Stand by Me. Close Encounters.
Stand by Me. Yeah. What about Bob?
Oh yeah, Dr. Leo Marvin.
Yep. What about yeah. Yep.
Those are all good movies.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Holland's Opus, I don't remember that one, to be honest. I just remember it was popular.
I did.
Yeah.
My mom fucking loved that movie. But
I can see that. I can see you guys watching that like brand new on tape in like 1998. You're like, all right, guys, we're going to watch a new movie. And
it is a very heartwarming movie. Oh, the kid's deaf, and then I'm teaching them things. I'm also a music teacher. Blah 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 blah. I guess like it's a good movie. I like it.
Did you ever watch Finding Forrester? with Sean Connery.
Watch what?
Finding
Yes.
Forrest
Yep.
Sean Connery.
Yep.
Those
You're
movies
the,
seem
very
You're
similar
the
to
man
me.
now, dog. I
That
love
fucking website.
I love that fucking line out of nowhere. I remember that was like a little fucking short GIF or whatever they kept putting everywhere. It was hilarious. It was great. But I don't know, man. Like I said, when I went to Scarefest last year, he was there, and some people were just like, yeah, he was supposed to take a picture with this like Jaws thing that we had like this fan had made for the convention's volunteered made, and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking doing that. He basically said that. I'm like, wow, okay. So like he was just
man.
he knows he's on his way out, and he's like, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Right. He's an old dude,
Well,
Yeah.
That's a stereotype of old dudes for a reason. A lot
Now-
of them turn into assholes.
maybe that's the theme of tonight. Old people saying silly shit, because we're gonna go from an 85-year-old man saying silly shit to an 85-year-old woman saying silly shit. Folks, on screen right here is good old Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know if she's 85 yet.
Oh, my
One
favorite.
day. Okay, she's only 70, but you can't ask her age, so we'll just assume she's 85. So today, I know that's mean, but no, today, folks, the New York Times dropped a little article, and we got to talk about this over on the Side Scroller podcast. Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland are out trying to promote this new Star Wars series called The Acolyte. Now, we have kind of talked about it because it has been very difficult to talk about The Acolyte in the build-up in a positive way. Well, guess what? We're not going to try, because that's bullshit. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about it in a very honest way. So, folks, this is just a pre-intro to the topic. We'll be talking about the show. I will be reviewing it in a written format each and every week, so you don't have to watch it. For the 5 to 6 minutes you spend with me, we can talk about The Acolyte. You can be up to date on all the stupidity, and we can make fun of it together without helping them out. But without any further ado, let's talk about this, because this morning I caught this New York Times article, and I wanted to roll my eyes. I wanted to be surprised. I wanted to be angry, but couldn't be, because I've seen this before. We've been here before. And folks, if you don't like Disney Star Wars, you are a sexist. And according to Kathleen Kennedy, well, she's about saying it again. So clearly this is me trying to find the headline that I had saved into another tab. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to click on this new article link. How's that? There we go. So Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan because of the fan base being so male dominated. In a new interview with the New York Times, for the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said she is aware that women in the space franchise are often attacked more than men because of the fan base being so male dominated. Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran certainly faced online harassment from toxic fans with the most recent Star Wars film trilogy that was released, and now The Acolyte is already being attacked in certain corners of the fandom. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but haven't we all seen this one before? That's the theme of tonight's show. This is a rerun. I believe I've heard this excuse 100 times before.
Yeah, either this is Groundhog Day or I've heard this before. Like, it's one or the other.
Yeah. Now let's go a little deeper. Let's see if it sounds even more familiar moving forward. So we're not going to. I'm sorry. What?
I said, I'm knowing Miss Kathleen Kennedy. I'm sure it will. I'm waiting for some specific phrases that they love to use.
Yeah, bring out your bingo card, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we need bullshit bingo. Let's get a t-shirt for that next. If you remind me, we'll do a bullshit bingo shirt. It'll be the card, and it'll have all the excuses.
Oh my god,
sexism,
dude,
racism, bigotry, homophobia,
please,
the economy. Yeah, all that
everything. The the Wu flu, whatever you can put on there.
Like, the pandemic is one of them.
Oh my god, it has to be. It has to be.
All right, so let me just put this woke oppressed bingo card. Sure, there we go. Folks, you can get all of our shirts at shopwcbs.com right now. They ship directly from Teespring, so you get quick turnaround, and their award-winning safety and security, just like our Stealing Solo website. But folks, if you need any Wokebusters merchandise, you can get that from the website as well. Now, as reported by the Times, a loud primordial part of the Star Wars fandom has pushed back in predictable fashion against The Acolyte.
A loud primordial part.
There we go. Now, it gets better. Why are there so many women, girls, and minority characters increasingly dominating the ranks of the Jedi? reads a comment on the Acolyte trailer, with others expressing a similar worldview. Some trolls have nicknamed Headland's series the Wokalite. That's original. Now, hold on. It gets weirder. My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people, Kathleen Kennedy told the publication about her support for Headland's Acolyte vision. That's an easy decision for me. Operating with these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying, Kennedy continued. I think Leslie Headland struggled a bit because women struggle more than men. They take it quite personal. Now, that's the Kathleen Kennedy quote. We've heard this before. It's not Groundhog Day. You know, this isn't going to sell a TV show. We are on record-breaking losses from Disney. And Kathleen Kennedy is going to pull this bullshit card, but was it the sexist fans that didn't show up to see Indiana Jones and they took a loss of $147 million? Change the record, lady. It's over and done with. We're all tired of hearing it, but it's so funny that you still trot it out, and we're going to watch it fail again. Now, folks, The Acolyte will be the #1 show to ever be released on a Wednesday in June during an 80-degree day when the sun is still partially visible on Mount Doom in California. Like, that's how it's going to be, folks. It's going to be so specific to give them a #1. The Acolyte is the most watched show from June 7th, 2024 to June 8th, 2024. Only 11:59 to 12 a.m. the next day. Like, there's so many stupid things that are going to come out, folks.
Oh, yeah.
And you know Disney is already ready to pat themselves on the back. It's like that fucking meme where the guy's shaking up the champagne and he's spraying himself and he's down on the bottom of the pedestal. That's what Lucasfilm is. It's going to be like, I'm going to make the meme. It'll just say literally anything.
No. Here's what you
Lucasfilm,
use.
The Acolyte.
Here's what you use. You use the Farva's #1, him champagning himself from Super Troopers. That's what you use.
Fine with me.
Yeah, you use
You
Super
know,
Troopers.
I'm
Like, Farva's #1, where he's like drunk and like, just being a jackass.
Ray Lucard in the chat with that wrestling reference. That is an excellent one, sir.
That's good.
So, continuing on, Leslie Headland, the showrunner that we're all so concerned with, Headland has already started to limit her exposure to online chatter about the show to block out any toxic fans. Guys, let's put another check on the woke bingo card, or whatever we're going to call it, because now we have toxic fans.
Bingo card. That's part of the problem, man. They need each other. They need each other. It's so symbiotic. Like, they need each other. This is pro wrestling 101.
Oh, God.
Now, this reminds me. I'm sorry. Read the rest.
No. Keep going. There's a funny quote I'll read next.
It's and obviously, right, like the going to the New York Times and doing it right, it's to elicit a response. If you call them premortal, you acknowledge that they are trolls, and then there was the shot with the male dominated part, right? And then it's been hard because of such a toxic fan base. If they don't, and I understand the heaviness that comes with dealing with that. But if they are so bad, you would think, especially when you specifically say trolls, the world knows that trolls thrive on you just mentioning them, right? So it reminds me of when Paul Heyman was doing a BT Sport interview with Ariel Helwani, and Ariel tries to cut a promo on him, and he's talking shit, and he goes, "How did I do?" And Paul Heyman said, "You did terrible." No, if you're trying to sell something, you don't give a shitty reason, but then keep talking about it. If they're bad, if they don't matter, if they're trolls, you understand that you wouldn't talk about it. So they're toxic. They're primordial fan base. It is so clear every time they talk about Star Wars, their marketing is purposefully adversarial.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're acknowledging that they're toxic online, she limits her time online, which means she probably isn't going to read this fucking article, right? The director's not going to even read this article. So why mention it? Because you want engagement. You need engagement. So that's all toxic, male-dominated, premortal, trolls. And it's in the article. They're trying to get those people to read the article and then engage with it. And it's just, Star Wars, and not only are they mad about having the conversation, but every time Kathleen Kennedy talks about it, because you want those people to watch the Acolyte and complain about it. You want them to interact with New York Times articles. You want them to get in the comment section on Variety. And it's just every time something Star Wars, if it's so bad and you know that they're trolls, you would stop talking about it because trolls just want you to engage. But Disney can't help themselves. Kathleen Kennedy can't help it. Lucasfilm can't help it. If that were correct, you would focus less on discussing it in every promotional. This was a promotional interview for the fucking show, as opposed to just promoting the show.
Bingo.
Yeah, man. They need each other now. Star Wars cannot exist without mentioning that toxic fan base, because then the toxic fan base participates.
And you know what, though? We're seeing that the toxic fan base participates and doesn't watch the show. So this fan base that they're not winning. All they're doing is looking petty, because it's like, really what they do is they look dated, and it's really lame and sad when they decide we're going to pull something from the old Lucasfilm playbook. Where's the playbook? Here's the playbook. This book's called Lighting in the Nude. I didn't want to show anything by mistake, but my point is, here's the playbook, and we're going to play the old play right down the middle. All right, fans are ready. Here we go. They're coming right down the middle. Here they are. They're lining up. Coach, we ready? We're ready. They're coming up the middle, and we blocked them. Like, it's the same shit every time. It's like Lucasfilm. Never mind. That is too mean to say. Lucasfilm is just really dumb. Put it like that.
Okay.
Now, I gotta say, the dumbest one involved with this show might be the showrunner. Now, she was the personal assistant for one Harvey Weinstein, so she has a lot of people who don't like her already, and she was the assistant. Like,
jeez.
So a lot of people are like, "All right, this is Hollywood nepotism."
I love and I love when people excuse her stuff. It's like, oh, it was only the last year while she was helping him. It's like, she was his assistant. She knows where the bodies are buried. Let's be honest. This is Hollywood, okay? They're really good about being quiet and getting each other's backs. It's a very weird environment. It's incredibly strange. They will not talk about certain things, because if it doesn't go with their narrative or with the people that they are with, they will just be like, oh yeah, we're all, we all vote the same way. We all, eat the same stuff. We all shop at the same place. We don't do anything different. We swear. It's very strange. Very, very strange.
Well, here's what our old pal Leslie Headland had to say. As a fan myself, add another bingo right there on, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. Now, I'm just going to pause this for a minute as a fan and say, lady, you're going to pull some bullshit like, oh, the prequels and George Lucas, blah, blah, blah. I know the kind of bullshit you would say if you were pushed on this question. Have the balls, which you don't, to say it's the other ones that sucked from Disney. Then we won't watch your show, but we'll go, okay, maybe they're honest now. Maybe the next show will be worth it. That's how you plant the seed. Just don't be an idiot. Anyway, she says, I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, all three, because I almost gave the finger, I don't consider a fan. Another add to the bingo card right there. You're not a real fan if you... What the hell is... Here's the thing. Hate speech is so broad. If I say, I hate this television show, that's hate speech. I don't want to listen to you. You're not a fan. Fine. I dislike your show strongly, and I think it's very poorly written. The characters are droll, and I don't have any intention to ever watch again. I feel like I wasted my time. That's hate speech. That's offensive. You're not a real fan. Anything you say, folks, is criticism by people like this. We live in a really soft, stupid society, a parody of it, if you will. So that is why we get dumb crap like that. This show next week, we'll make fun of it. We'll have fun with it, but we won't be expecting something of quality.
Well,
and
listen,
also, well, and also,
go ahead.
Also, nobody fucking hate watch the show because they want you to do that. Don't do that. Just if you're curious about it, go do something else. Go take a walk. Go touch grass. Go, I don't know, do anything else but watch the show, because they want you to be like, oh, it can't be that bad. It's, I want to see how bad it is. Don't see how bad it is, because they want to get that viewership. They want those numbers to go up so they can show their shareholders, be like, oh, look, people watched it. It went above this much in this time and in this place, and we're gonna make season 2. Don't watch it. Don't buy it. Don't give them any money, any attention, anything. That's the best thing you can do.
and you guys are just describing a bunch of shit that can easily be summed up with, if you want to talk about it, watch it. If you don't. You know, like, it's just everything's got to be so emotional.
Now,
like,
I will say,
obviously, if a motherfucker thinks wild shit, nobody's gonna be like, yeah, I consider myself a fan with that guy. Like, who are you writing that part for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me be clear. It's like, the fact that this is the end of the article and it's a short article means that you couldn't come up with anything. So you threw it in. I just want to be clear. Like, anyone that engages in hate speech and bigotry, like, yeah, okay, like, sure. Like, but everyone has to do that. And then to your point about, don't confuse the fact that my low expectation means that I'm not going to objectively watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Course.
Like, everyone that watches it, like, if you watch it and you decide to say it's not good, cool, man. And it's the assumption by people like Kathleen Kennedy. I shouldn't say that. It's the presumed advertised move assumption that if people don't like it, they're just bigots. And it's just like, no, if someone watches it and they're like, hey, man, everybody should be able to go to the gas station, but the Acolyte's not great, that's a separate conversation that we're having. And the fact that you went and the author has to go, let me be clear. Like, okay, do we have to have this conversation in every Star Wars article now? Like, yeah, we get it. Those people are weird sometimes, but at the same time, you just admitted you empathize because Star Wars hasn't been very good. So you can't have it both ways. Like, yeah, man, just say the last Star Wars isn't good and they want the Acolyte to be good, even though the trailer kind of sucks. Like, let's just let the shit come out. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I love this. Now, like you said, Dion, we always here on WCBS go in objectively, so don't expect us to jump to any conclusions. But 4 of the 5 last Star Wars shows have been shit, so we don't really expect change.
No, you're kidding me.
Hold on, I'm sorry. That
company
statistic is wrong.
Right.
5 out of the last 5 Star Wars shows have been shit. Like,
wait, you're telling me that a woman who made these, who's running this company, who's making the decisions on all this stuff, has made really crappy Star Wars movies, and because she's a woman and she's in charge, we should just watch them because of that fact? You're kidding me. You're fucking kidding me.
What I'm saying, Nick, is that is a problem. What I'm also saying, again, doing one of my favorite moves here on the channel, stalling for time, is what I'm saying is that because of this woman right here, we get stuff like this.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
And, life imitates art and it becomes a beam and it's all of this wonderful stuff. I don't expect much of the Acolyte. I don't expect much of Star Wars, but folks, expect more of us making fun of all of this stuff here on the channel with the videos and a whole lot more.
It's gonna probably be really bad.
Oh, dude. Ahsoka was
really bad, dude. Like, it's just so funny. Like, and I love that button because, it's if South Park made fun of someone that Kathleen Kennedy didn't like, is she going to admit it? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those situations where it's a perfect example of, I'm sure she may have said something about South Park in the past that Disney is trying to wipe off the internet. But it's like, yo, you are a meme now. South Park made an episode about the way that you make things, specifically, with your hairstyle. So I'm just saying, you would think you would try to avoid feeding into that part. And it's just so funny watching Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm just do the same thing. Like, you brought up Daisy Ridley and Marie Tran. Those movies came out 9 and 7 years ago. So if you're still battling the trolls, that means you want them around. That was almost a decade ago. And you haven't found a way to have that not be the topic in your interview about the current show coming out. You brought up Daisy Ridley and you brought it up. Those movies came out, and I get it, but that was almost a decade ago. You guys are still dealing with that? Is it all them No, it's not all them, because even the author goes, I empathize with the recent projects.
No, that's the lady.
Yep.
That's the showrunner. That's the show producer that's trying to say she empathizes with fans. It's like, lady, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Right.
You don't care.
Right. Just like, so who's wrong? So you're saying that Star Wars is bad and there are a lot of trolls. Without, and that's the thing I love about that line of thing, right? So if we were to all to have that conversation, if we were to all to be cool about it, me, you, Kathleen Kennedy, Nick, the producer, the author of the article, how do we solve that? Everyone would collectively say, make better Star Wars, because we all agree that the writer's right? Like, it hasn't been great. So to get rid of the trolls, you make it good. That's the best way to do it. That should have been the topic of conversation in a promotional article with the New York Times, son, not you talking about trolls to the New York Times.
But I also feel like they're using this to make there to be this wave of negative comments and activity on all their articles and stuff, so they can take it to their shareholders and be like, oh, look, there's activity on all this stuff. All these keywords we have are all like maxing out at so many hits, so many, per minute, per second, per hour, whatever. And people are going to watch it. We're going to see it turn around into watch hours. No. And then they're going to scratch their heads and be like, wow, why doesn't this work? It's like, there were so many clicks and views and hits on all these keywords we had for the Acolyte. For some reason, there was shit all for fucking watch hours. I wonder what happened. Like, it's so idiotic. It's
well,
so
I think right now they're not thinking that. I think right now, as of May 30th, 2024, May 27th or whatever, when that article came out, being 9 years into a process, right? And we were kind of laughing about,
dear God,
corporate fart. They know this already. They're doing this because this is the only way that they know how to generate conversation about Star Wars. I would think that you hit the nail on the head if it were 2017. I would say that you hit the nail on the head for damn sure in 2016. In 2024, Kathleen. It's 2024. If you are still talking to the New York Times, son, a new director who's still dealing with this shit, you're admitting, Disney's this 9 years in, they're kind of letting it happen, right? Like, I work in corporate security. If something happens and it affects the people that are working with me, you actively take steps to handle it. So if 9 years in, Disney is still talking about trolls and what happened to Daisy Ridley and Marie Tran, they're admitting that either A, they're bad at their jobs, or B, and this is kind of inferred in the fact that we're still reading about 2024, it's happening on purpose. So for you, it's not happening because they are going to do Pikachu face. It's happening because we have no other way to get conversation going about Star Wars right now. So we're going to go to the New York Times and bring up the same thing that we've been talking about for almost a decade, because negative comments are still comments on this article. Maybe they'll go see the movie.
Not today.
Not today, son. It doesn't work, but they can't. There's no other option. Kathleen Kennedy is there is a lightning rod.
There is another option, Dion. You said it a few minutes ago. Make a good show. You actually make a good show, and people and like a handful of people who are the people who are still waiting there in front of the TVs, being like, it has to get better. Like 10 years fucking later, who will finally see a good show and be like, look, it's good, it's good, I swear. And some people watch it and it slowly trickles down. Then maybe people will be like, you know what? We'll give this a watch and see what happens. We'll wait till the other shoe drops. And if the shoe doesn't drop in like season 2, 3, or whatever they get for the whatever show or mystical show I'm talking about, then maybe people will be like, okay, you're on the right path. Let's see how this goes. But no, for some reason, they have this like 150-point checklist before they get to the story and make it good. That they have to like go through. And once that's checked off, they're like, okay, now we can start with the story.
Because no one's going to read the article if you're just talking about the Acolyte.
Nope. The show without the Star Wars war.
Oh God, it's
just so crazy, right? Like you know, it's just so crazy. You have a new show coming out, and you've got Carrie-Anne Moss in it. You've got all these actors in it, and when you have an article being written about your new show that has not come out yet, you talk about your enemy. You don't bring them up unless you want them to see it. It's just so very clearly part of the marketing machine for Lucasfilm, for Star Wars, that they just, the fact if you're a business person and you are like, damn, we want this show to do well. You don't want them talking about this, especially after the Marvels bombed. Like, you're like, yo, this isn't working, but they don't know how. They have no other way to get traffic about Star Wars without those buzzwords. You got to hit those buzzwords. You got to say woke. You got to say toxic fan base. You got to say something about male men, something, and then you got to throw in a barb because you need them to come to you need them to come to those trying to get them. Hey guys, I know that we hate each other, but I got a new thing coming out. Make shit go trending. So maybe the people that I think agree with me are going to come watch this show on Disney Plus for $15 a month.
Yeah. I'd rather subscribe to some females OnlyFans for that. Way more entertaining.
Yep. You're right, Jared. It's just Disney at this point. They need it. They need it.
But also, my issue with this thing for the past 10 years is like they're trying to make it seem that that Hollywood, who's been racist and sexist since the very beginning of it, like 100 years ago, is not that way anymore. It's like you have this 100-year track record of being this way, and you think in the last 10 years it's just going to change like that? Like, no. I'm sorry, but there's no way that's going to happen. Not going to happen.
So let's check in with the audience. I gotta say, guys, if you see me laughing, it's because I'm reading all your cream pie titles. Laden Swallow, you kind of had some of the dirtiest ones, so you're breaking me over here, man. That's why I'm over covering my mouth. There were some great ones over there. Also, to Breadman Productions, yes, everybody's included with everything like stickers and all that. You guys are gonna get that stuff too. So thank you, Breadman Productions, for being an early adopter. But folks, as you know, Wokebusters on Kickstarter. We're trying to go up just a small percent tonight to get to 10% already, and we're just in the beginning of it. And check me out on the side scrollers today, where we got to show that to people, and they thought it looked pretty cool. So that's what we'll say about that. Enrique Vasquez, thank you very much. He says, "Hail WCBS, Nick. Did you see the new Lego Zelda?"
Did I see something new that Lego came out with? Come on now, come on.
Is it cool?
It's very cool. It's a 2
My man
it's a 2-in-1.
Is a pig's pussy port? Yeah, I saw
it. Basically, but it looks to be like it's a Zelda Ocarina of Time and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2-in-1 is what it is.
Okay, hold on. I have pulled this up.
And it's coming up. It's coming in. Wow, it's coming out in September of this year, so in a very, very long time. They announced it. I think they're not even doing pre-orders for it yet. Jesus, it's coming out. But yeah, Lego's been really hitting it hard, man. They have a lot of fun stuff coming out that I'm looking. They even have the SLS that I want to get, but that's a giant set, so we'll see.
Oh, we finally get a new Ocarina of Time Link figure.
Yep. Yeah, those minifigs are going to be worth quite a bit, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get one of these sets, and we'll look at it on the channel because we can, and yeah, I'll put my Ocarina of Time Link up because they don't make enough Ocarina of Time Link toys. They make all those stupid Skyward Sword ones. I want Ocarina of Time.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But yeah, it seems like Lego's gotten a lot more stuff coming, and they've just been really hitting it hard the last this whole year, really. So.
Adam Walford, thank you very much. He says, if you do hate watch it, Pirate Bay is always open. They don't count the views over there, only if someone cares enough to pirate it. 42 and 13. of course, let's give you your buttons really quick right here. We get you number 42. What is that around here? Oh, yeah, it's this one.
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
I love
Every time.
much.
Just works.
They're so good.
Oh, you know what? I found another tab. We have some buttons we haven't pressed.
Okay.
You won! You did it! You did it! I knew you would! I just knew you would!
Cool. I forgot about Master Debate. There's also this one, Nick.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Man. Yeah, they tried to remake it and they tried to make a prequel and nobody gave two shits. That one is the original and it's the best one.
The Chalamet one shit the bed.
Yeah, nobody cared about that one. I mean, I didn't care about it. Apparently, it's after the book or something, and it's like, oh, we know it's an interpretation of the book. It's like
It doesn't
we all
matter.
grew up with. Well, you
It's
know, because
one guy. It's
Yeah.
Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. We have all accepted that. Nobody wants anything else. You tried Johnny Depp, didn't work. You tried Timothy Chalamet, didn't work. It's Gene Wilder. We all miss him. It was a one-time role. You can't touch it again. Just make merchandise and put it on every
God,
format.
No,
do
I
that.
100% agree. Give us action figures, give us games, give us Lego sets, please.
Oh God, yeah,
And-
Willy Wonka. Oh, with the Wonkatania.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
how would the Chocolate River work? Would it actually just be all like brown bricks on the top, or would it be kind of sunken in so you could have the boat kind of submerged in it? Like, would it like move along?
I
like a
think.
pack of
Well,
Legos?
I think what they would do is that they would do the boat by itself, and then they do a portion of the of that room for sure. They wouldn't do the door. They'd probably do some flowers here and there. They'd have the little minifigs of the kids and stuff, but they wouldn't go too complicated with that. They'd at least want like the gist of what that is. They would definitely do the elevator for sure.
The great class.
They would
elevator?
they'd probably do a lot of the rooms. They do the TV room. God, yeah.
Would they come with mini Lego figs? Because could you imagine
my
they got
God.
the little bitty Mike TV, like and it like moves and everything? People would go nuts and buy that set just for the little tiny guy.
100%. They would go nuts for that if that was the case.
I would buy all of them if they interconnected. So when you mapped it out, you could build the whole chocolate factory and walk room
Dude, yeah,
through
that
room,
would-
and then even have that stupid Wonka mobile that like shrinks and cleans them
Oh
and
my
shit.
God.
I'd buy that. Oh my God.
Well,
Yes.
one thing you can check. I know there's like a place on Lego where you can like look for ideas or whatever. Like you can upvote certain sets and things like that. And they may have, if you type in Wonka, they may have a couple on there that people have made and suggested. So that's
Yeah,
always
at
a
one
thing.
point, Back to the Future was a dream, and now it's everywhere.
Dude, I love the car. I love it so much. It's still sitting here.
Nick, where can people have watched that stream?
I need to start back up because I still have half of Apollo Lander built.
No. It was just for you to plug the Twitch channel and all the work.
It's Twitch. It's WCBS Twitch. Twitch.com/WCBS Gaming. That's what it is.
There you go, folks. Check us out over there. I'm gonna start doing more
Um,
content over there now that I got the whole system set up.
Actually, you know what's coming out that I'm probably going to stream very soon? The Killer Clowns game.
Oh wait, should I get a copy and we play together?
I think we should.
All right,
I think we should.
I'll do it.
We should.
Folks, join us on twitch.com/WCBS Gaming for a whole lot more. Maybe we'll stream that over here. Who knows where we'll be? But I'm going to go for my record. I tried to beat GoldenEye in 45 minutes. I got to 49 minutes. So I'm going to try again coming up soon to break my record. And then I'd like to be able to beat the game in 30 minutes if possible. So
Just keep
Now-
upping it. Just keep upping it.
Well, dude, I am only playing on Agent because if I'm trying to do a time record, like I get it, the more objectives would make it interesting, but there are a lot of objectives that are randomized in terms of location and like just certain things that would kind of take the speed element out of it because there's too many factors. It's like, oh, if I play on this level, I gotta do this, and sometimes you have to wait for the guy to stand there, and it's like whatever. Point is, I'll elevate to that. I'm going to try to break it down to 30 minutes on Agent and then work my way to do 30 minutes on Double Agent. But that's not going to be possible because you have to watch cutscenes essentially. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Let's see what this button did.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh, there's another one.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah. There you go, folks. There's some new buttons for you here. Let's switch our theme back to the new WCBS, the smooth, the wavy, the Cervezas Cristal of all WCBS background.
Cervezas Cristal.
Do, 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 do. Oh man, Soylent Cream Pie. I like that one.
Oh my god! Why is it green? Why is it green?
Wait, you could say it's people.
It makes sense then. That's the only time that would make sense, Jeff. That's the
But
only time that would make sense.
It's people.
I mean, it's you know, it's it's pre-people. It's pre-people. That's what it is.
Isn't that something else?
Yeah, it is. But we're not going to get into that.
Not here. No.
No. This is not. This
Let's
is not
keep
the
things
time we're
classy. Pinky up, folks. Keep it classy. All right. Oh God, Soylent shit. It's people.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Ooh. All right, that is the Acolyte. I don't want to look at that anymore.
No.
Let's talk about something else. Now, Dion, I'm interested to see your reaction on this. Because you and I are longtime comic book buddies. We have seen pretty much every comic book movie released in our lifetime, and there's a new one dropping in a few weeks, which we'll talk about on the channel as well as personally. And today, over on Twitter, social media star and darling Ryan Reynolds released this new Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket. And I want to know what you think about it, because it's a little weird, but, you know, it might sell a lot. So here we are, folks. We're going to watch it and pause it and move around a little bit so we don't, you know, get in trouble. There it is. Hold on. Let's go back. That's the Wolverine popcorn bucket. Like, they know what they're doing. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's it is a reminder that sometimes your homeboy just goes corporate, right? And that is the most corporate we're in on the joke too, guys, wink move ever. And it's just, you know, it's one of those things where you chuckle at it for the nostalgia purpose. And that is the only reason why I'm chuckling at this shit.
Look, the joke, I get the joke. It's all dependent on like how much popcorn you get and how much this is, because I'm not going to drop a lot of money on a popcorn bucket that gets you very little to no popcorn. Sorry.
Right. And the thing where after you buy it, it's just Wolverine's gaping face hole. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's funny for a little bit.
Oh my god. Oh man.
No music. There we go. And there's butter. You know, I like Wolverine a bit. Kinda used to, maybe now. I don't look. I'm not bothered by this. I get the joke. It's funny. I don't like the popcorn bucket trend. I really think it's a waste. Like, I want to have a good time at the movie, but for $50 for R2D2, like, I'm not gonna let that thing go, man. $30 for a Ghostbusters popcorn bucket. Love Ghostbusters. That's why I did a parody of the damn movie, because I love it. But why the hell would I spend that much for just a little car that holds like a cup of popcorn? Like, I bet you this Wolverine popcorn bucket is this big, but it's about $40, and people want to laugh, so they're gonna buy it because it's $40. Let me know how many people at your screening have it, because I want numbers.
For sure. I'm gonna keep an eye out for it for sure. It's you know, it's always nice seeing companies pull 20th century marketing shit. and that's just one of those things where I don't know. I'm with you. I get the joke, but it's like get this novelty thing. I got
it feels forced.
Funny. It'll be funny 15 years from now too. Like, hey, remember those really fucking weird Wolverine popcorn buckets they sold for Deadpool and Wolverine? I remember that. Like, but it's just like, man, that joke was funny when I was a kid back in 99. You know what I mean? Like, it's still kind of funny now, but you know what I'm saying? You stick your hand in his mouth and eat popcorn. All right. I mean, it's funny. I'm not spending $40 for that shit.
No. I'm still waiting for the AMC ones to go way down on eBay, and they haven't gone down yet, but I think by Christmas they should be like way down.
So Nick, what you're telling me is I should go buy these and just sell them on eBay?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't get these. I think the Ghostbuster ones are a little bit like, especially that AMC one looks like a ghost trap, looks really cool. I think people are really into that. I don't know if the other ones are like as.
Didn't
cool.
we just get the HasLab ghost traps and all that shit?
Yeah, but those
Isn't
are
that
like
what we ordered last year.
Oh yeah, dude. But those are way better.
Oh, dude. I love Ghostbusters. I don't know if anybody knows this at all. Yeah, we have the entire HasLab pack. Like, that was before any of this stuff. The book.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I still. Yeah, I'm.
It is Ghostbusters like 24/7 here. That is not a joke.
100%. Yeah, I need to still get. I know they recently released or re-released the '84 one, so I need that picked into my pack. So, but
they're gonna get it out of me too. After Wolfbusters closes, I'll treat myself to the wand and I'll go, yeah, folks, I'm not just
yeah.
I think somebody messaged me. They're like, "Do you hate Ghostbusters?" I said, "No, this is an homage to Ghostbusters." I was like, "Oh, I didn't get that."
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Jizzing for a living in Jizzin' color.
Oh my god. In Jizzin' color. Oh jeez.
So is that going to be on Party Boob in Jizzin' color?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Screw who you want to screw in Jizzin' color. There we go. Those are the words. Dion, you got to be SW1. You'll be DG1.
DG1.
I can dig it.
No.
Nick, you're a fly girl.
No. Dion needs to be DGOG. That's what he needs to be.
Are you sure he should be OG?
I like that a lot too. DGOG. Let's do it.
All right. There we go. From now he's Durkin McGurkin. That's why there are 39 wins. Exactly. I
feel like if there were 39 Waynes, they'd be named like editing files, like Final Project 1, Final Project 2, Final Project 1A.
Moviola. That's one of their names.
Oh god. Yeah. It would just be that. Their names would keep extending as like they went down.
Old Halloween or Old Hollywood. Now,
there you go.
While we're talking about this Wolverine bucket, overall, is there hype for you? Like, Dion, we'll start with you since you do have more of a love of comics. Like, is there a love for this movie? Is there a hype? Are you genuinely interested like you used to be, or is it more of like I'll watch it because it looks okay? Like, is there like
it's definitely above and I'll watch it, it looks okay. I mean, there's a genuine hype. It's not a major Marvel event hype, but it's definitely, I think there definitely needs to be a separation in the overall Marvel fatigue and, the overall fact that, until Ryan Reynolds Deadpool gives me a reason to lump him in with the rest of Marvel, yeah, I'm hyped. I'm excited. Obviously there's always going to be the Marvel corporate factor of will they fuck it up? Yes, 100%. And I would say it is a very prevalent concern when it comes to Deadpool plus Wolverine. But overall, I love Deadpool 1. I really liked Deadpool 2. And yeah, I'm of seeing as it's the last legit Marvel thing for the rest of the year, there is some hype. There is legitimate hype, but it's tempered expectation because Marvel is always going to try to Marvel. And do I think that they may have fucked it up? it's always a possibility, especially when they're coming out with shit like this. But at least until Ryan Reynolds gives me the equivalent of X-Men Phoenix, I'm gonna be excited for Deadpool shit.
How do you feel about Joshua and the Technicolor Cream Pie as a movie title?
I keep seeing these. Apparently,
I think it fits.
everybody's all about the cream pie titles. I fucking love it.
Everybody's all about the cream pie, man. It's 2024, the year of
yeah.
the cream pie. It's also the year of the bullshitter, folks. So hit that thumbs up button.
Oh, jeez. Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, Dion, I agree about how this is the only like Marvel thing there is. Well, okay, you said there's the only thing Marvel out this year. I'm saying this is the only Marvel thing that seems like it's going to have crossover appeal to a larger audience because, well, Captain America New World Order is not going to work. It's going to be number one its opening weekend. It's going to get people talking about the toxic fans and all the same shit that we always hear, the same old rigmarole. But it's also not going to perform to the level of Deadpool and Wolverine. And I'm hoping that Wolverine and Deadpool do not inspire more like over-the-top R-rated gory superhero movies and they get the wrong message that it's, everybody wants this now. Like, those characters are kind of special because they can be that way. I hope it just doesn't, influence the next wave of movies. Kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy influenced so many superhero movies.
It's not because I'm sure they had to really I'm sure Disney didn't want to make an R-rated superhero movie, but they had to because this is the third installment of Deadpool, and after they bought Fox and everything. But I think this is going to be the last one. They're not going to do it again because it took so long for this to come out and to get made, and I think even part of it the filming had to be split up because of the strike as well, and it's just yeah, I don't think, and also I don't think Ryan Reynolds, unless Ryan Reynolds gets a really, really fat check, I don't think he's going to come back as Deadpool again because I'm sure he doesn't want to deal with Disney at all. Because I'm sure he will not get his way again. He will not get his way again
and to that point too, I think that rated R movies, and we had talked about, I didn't think it was going to be rated R. But rated R movies they do kind of play by a different set of rules when it comes to setting a trend. If Deadpool and Wolverine are a lot closer to Logan than it is to the Marvels, if that sets a trend in Marvel, I think that's a good thing. To have an R-rated movie that's an action movie that's good. If it exceeds expectations, if that sets a trend at Marvel, then I'm all for it. I think that the Guardians of the Galaxy thing is a great example of when you try to set a trend doing PG-13. Whenever a PG-13 movie does really well, that's when things get weird because instead of trying to expand in that space, they try to reach down and make it super kid friendly. And don't get me wrong, Guardians 2 was good, 3 was very freaking good, but then you get things like the Christmas special and all that. And even though we did get the PG-13 Deadpool, it kind of was a little bit more tongue-in-cheek because the promo for that was they went and got Ben Savage or whatever. So that was a little bit more self-aware. And Deadpool and Wolverine has a lot better chance of being in the good Marvel category than it does being in that setting a really stupid trend that Marvel tries to copy 30 times afterwards.
Yeah, I will talk about the movie the closer we get to it. We'll give you the full review and do everything like you guys like. I guess we'll just talk about it then, unless there's anything else you guys want to say, because I feel like I'm just going to run it into the ground, and I don't want to.
Well, I mean,
yeah, for sure. Listen, I think it's just we're in a different era, right? We've talked about it on super earlier episodes of the show. When you do something good and it's awesome, it's natural to eventually move on. And Disney and Universal and all this, movie studios, that is a weakness. So it's a very legitimate concern that you have to not want to beat into the ground. That being said, you know, Marvel, obviously, you can tell which franchises they actually want everyone to come and see. And so far, and to Nick's point, it's because Ryan Reynolds has somehow got his fucking way, and it probably isn't going to happen for a very long time. But yeah, I think people will be, they're going to give, and hopefully it earns this, but they're going to give Deadpool and Wolverine a legitimate shot. It's going to get a hell of a lot better shot than the Marvels did. So I think it's going to be better than expected. I'm hoping it ends up being closer to Deadpool 1 and 2, but we've all been hurt before, so I don't blame anybody for being hesitant with Deadpool and Wolverine. But again, they got these motherfuckers to do it together, and we didn't think it was going to happen. So
yeah, we didn't.
Who knows, man? It's a coin toss. I don't know.
Yeah. We all said, and like you said, we all said like very, very, very long ago in various shows, like this will not be rated R. And sure enough, it is. But I think it's a very soft R. I think it's a very soft R if they're going to do
Agreed.
it.
I think it's going to be soft R.
They're trying too hard to convince everybody. Like those trailers that are out, like,
well, even with the trailers, like even now, I've seen this a couple of times. When we've been to the movies. You'll have the anti like turn off your phone video is Deadpool and Wolverine now everywhere, and we're like what, like a while out from the movie.
It's July, I think.
End of July. It's like July 26th.
End of July, 25th, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're really
5 days shy of 2 months.
Yeah, so we're really far from that, and they're just trying to keep. I think they're trying to keep it in your mind constantly, so this way you're like, "Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna go check it out."
And to that point too, right? Like there are movies. It's because we're in that era where they've done that a couple months out, advertising, and they haven't been good. But you know, I think that Deadpool and Wolverine are gonna solidify my point that they know how to make a good movie. And again, I'm hoping that it exceeds expectations. But if Deadpool and Wolverine come out and it's rated R and it's as good as the first one, I'm not saying that it will be. But if it is, this is gonna validate everybody. Like, you know how to make a good movie. You started advertising in May. You've been teasing the movie and regularly dropping out teasers. You did everything you want to do for a successful film without doing what you did for the Marvels. And it's either going to validate fans, and again, if it exceeds expectations, that's awesome. But if it is just a good action movie, I'm going to be looking at Marvel Studios like, hey, yo, so you know what the fuck you're doing. Why are you doing shit like the Marvels? Stop doing that. And I'm hoping that's the case, man, because you got Hugh Jackman to come back. I cannot believe that they got Hugh Jackman to come back and are doing the type of advertising that Ryan Reynolds wants to do if this movie is going to be another example of Marvel fatigue. I just can't believe that. I got too much until he fucks up. I don't think us talking about Deadpool and Wolverine is going to bite us in the ass. I'll say that's the wager I'm making with this movie. I ain't saying it's going to be the epic movie that one was, but damn it, this is just proof that Hollywood be fucking around.
Well, Dion, if you get honey dick, you have no one to blame but yourself.
No, I'm blaming you because I'm doing the show because you.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's what friendship looks like, folks, and family.
I love it. Oh my god! But yeah, I hope. Yeah, I like.
Walk
Yeah,
off
that's.
work for that bit? Was it funny? I tried to walk off at the right time for the bit.
Worked.
It worked. No, it worked. The timing
Okay,
was good. The timing was good. Yeah. But no, I do hope that it is. Yeah, at least as good as 2. Like, I'm like, once again, our expectations for anything Disney is like, as long as it makes us chuckle, like that's it gets points for that. Like, that's where we are with Disney. Anything they touch.
Like, I still say things from 1 and 2 in normal conversation with my family. Like, I say cock shot all the time. And I just can't, and again, two.
You can't
one
say
was
that
the best
around
one so far.
children, Dion. Jesus Christ, you're a dad.
Well, they know not to repeat it.
Are you sure? Or do they just know not, do they just know not to repeat it around you when you're listening?
The latter. The latter.
I didn't think about that actually. I might have fucked up, guys.
I'm just saying. I'm like, they know not to say it when you're like conscious and in earshot.
They say it to you when you're on the couch sleeping. Like you wake up some mornings when you're like, God, why does my leg hurt?
Look at the fucking cock shot. Look at the fucking cock shot right here.
Yeah. Boom. It shows up on my Snapchat feed from Hillary. It's like, what the hell? Cock shot. Boom.
She's like, this motherfucker forgot the fucking tomatoes again.
Forgot the tomatoes again.
No, Nick, I'll get Snapchat videos from Hillary's account.
Is my wife an abusive farmer?
Yes. You don't have to be lonely, Dion. It's farmersonly.com.
You know we don't grow tomatoes. You black son of a...
Shout out to an inconvenient cream pie.
I don't know. I just imagine your house more of a like a 90s sitcom kind of thing going on.
Oh, Dion lives in a 90s sitcom. It's great.
There are moments, god dang it. There are moments
where it's just like it's one of those things like it just happens, and this is one of those like the funniest fucking thing, and like the laugh track goes on way too long, but you're not mad at it.
I'm waiting for a laugh track to pop up at your house sometimes, Dion. Like Hillary will say something like something breakfast, and then just like,
oh my god, dude, no, being around you too is hilarious because one of you will say something out of pocket, and it's just like, what the fuck?
But then the other one doesn't miss a beat, and it's just like and you're like, there's a rift in reality right here. I had stepped into TGIF in 2024.
Exactly. It's wonderful.
There are moments where I'm like, a laugh track probably would have been perfect in that situation because y'all asses be acting crazy.
I feel like you need a laugh track in the Seinfeld bass. Even though I don't like Seinfeld, I just feel like that would fit you at some time.
You need like a fucking laugh track button on you somewhere.
Seriously. Shoot.
Now, folks, stay tuned. Coach Kendo is going to join us in a little bit. He's on his way, and then we'll be hanging out and doing some other stuff tonight. But these cream pie titles are excellent.
Oh my god,
this is one of our most memorable episodes.
40 cream pies.
I must have timed it perfectly. I said Coach Kendo will be here soon, and here he is. Welcome in, Coach Kendo.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Got my learning done again. But hey, you know what? It was great. It's math classes. I already know how to do the stuff. So I was able to just clock time and stack bills and watch TV and put together furniture. Because I've already got all my assignments for the week turned in. I did that on day one.
Hey,
like, this is a piece of piss. Go. I'm going to get this done.
There you go. There you go.
Now, Kendo, I know I showed you last week the little button, or sorry, the graphic that was made with AI for fun, correct? Did you get the black lady one?
No.
Okay, good, because I didn't want to repeat the bit from last week. But here you go. This is what AI made when I said quiz Coach Kendo.
Nice. It's it looks like I should have been on a syrup bottle when I was like 20 instead of like 50. Definitely a very young Aunt Jemima vibes, and might I say, tasty.
I mean,
before she was Aunt
is on point.
Before she was Aunt Jemima.
Look, she looks like the type of chick that knows how to get it done in the bedroom, and we know she can get it done in the kitchen. So more power to the lady.
Mad respect.
Yeah, they should give her legacy back instead of erasing it in the name of making white people on Twitter happy.
Her and Uncle Ben, the guy in the rice.
The rice just doesn't taste the same anymore without Uncle Ben smiling at me saying, "You're gonna like this shit."
It's because it's unseasoned. That's why.
There was great power in that rice, Kendo.
Yeah.
Appointment. It says Aunt Kendo. That's Aunt Kendo from now on. We will not put her on a t-shirt. No one would buy that. Anyway.
I think there would be people that would buy it. It's a matter of wearing it out in public without getting any weird fucking side looks.
The thing is, like, no one would know. It would be a fun social experiment because everyone would look at it and go, "What is Coach Kendo?" And then the people would say, "Oh, you don't know what Coach Kendo is? Look it up online," and they'll never find it. And it'll just be this thing where people will be confused.
They'll find my Twitter and be like, "He's not a black lady." Be like, well, I identify her now. You know, I took inspiration from like the great civil rights crusaders like Rachel Dolezal.
Oh my God!
Didn't she have an OnlyFans? Did you check it
She
out?
did. Turns out that she, after she got busted pretending to be black, she ended up getting, you know, more or less hounded out of her position where she was at. And turns out she moved to Arizona, became a teacher, and started an OnlyFans. Outside of Nick, I don't know anybody that would subscribe to that.
Found it out.
It wasn't that good. It really wasn't that good.
It's one of those things where you would pay her to put the clothes back on.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's
I'll
exactly.
tip you
It's one of those. It's one of those things where it's like, Jesus Christ, put it
back on.
How much did it pay you to put the shirt back on? To put it back on.
Shit, man, that
No
bronzer don't
reason
by itself.
It's terrible.
Do you think Rachel Dolezal would be a good villain for the Terminegro to fight in one of the comic books in the future?
It should be a very it'd be a very man with a golden gun vibe. I like it.
Yeah.
You have her be dressed in all a bunch of weird shit.
No.
Terminegro.
No. I have the perfect villain for Terminegro. It should be the HOA lady. the liberal Starbucks. I have, you know, I don't see color. HOA lady.
Karen.
Yeah, Karen. It's Karen. There you go.
Yeah.
Now,
that's who it should be.
Is there going to be sexual tension like in Black Dynamite? Because Pat Nixon wanted Black Dynamite.
So okay, so we handle that one. So Terminegro versus Rachel Dolezal ends up kind of like Goldfinger, where Sean Connery just slaps pussy to galore in the bar and it's like, here we go. So I think it'd be a situation like that. Like he would show up to save the day, realize Rachel Dolezal is an idiot, and then, you know, still fucking clap them cheeks and leave the bitch laying.
Well, you said it.
Because at the end of the day, that's all she's probably any good for.
Ouch.
She's all tense for no reason, and you know.
Well, folks, check back in 2026 for Terminegro. What I should do is I should make it a backup story in another comic as a joke and see how people feel about it. Like have a little QR code. Did you like this story? Scan the QR code.
Yeah.
Kind of as a vote, and then we'll make a sequel or something to it.
That sounds good.
Shout out to all of our new listeners out there, like Johnny. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Shout out to Donut Lord, people we have the pleasure of having each week, like Layden Swallow, Joseph Bienowich, Father O'Malley, and a whole lot more, including Dirty D Senpai and K-Bit.
Yeah, Johnny Be Good has a nice little message for us there. Thanks, buddy. You know, help us out any way you can, man.
I love Texas as well.
I could go for some Whataburger right now and one of those giant steaks. Texas has good food.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
I've never had a bad meal in Texas. Yeah, that's a fair statement. I've actually never had a bad
I don't
meal
think
in
it's
Texas.
possible.
No, the quality of food in that state is ridiculous. When we went to that chicken place, Dion, how good was that food, man?
That was dope.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not think about it. It's not 10 o'clock at night. I'm not hungry for something I can't have. No, not at all. So how do you, Clone Geek? Thank you very much. Now, Kendo, we're going to give you a couple minutes since you just got here because we have a quiz for you for fun. It's a small one. You know, you're going to get
ready to go whenever you are.
Do you guys want to do the Coach Kendo quiz now, or do you want to talk about Nick's streaming? Actually, you know what? We'll talk about your AI streaming in a little bit. Kendo, we're gonna quiz you and talk about the next topic.
I forgot.
I've been dying to talk. I've been dying to talk about something. I'm so excited for our next segment that I've made a button for it. So just let's play a little quiz, folks. You can play along at home. We'll give you a moment to answer before Coach Kendo gets another 100%. This week on the Vietnam War, Kendo.
Oh, good.
9 questions. You want the timer bonus?
Of course I do.
All right, here we go, folks. If you're going to play at home, get your notepads out. We're going to press play in 3, 2, 1. A Buddhist monk set himself aflame in response to what? The use of military tactics.
South Ninh Bien Phu's religious repression.
There we go. Perfect. Which assistance
Whatever.
program implemented by U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1954 aimed to aid South Vietnam through psychological warfare and paramilitary activities?
Saigon military mission.
Correct.
It's definitely not MK Ultra.
What was the name of the U.S. surveillance ship that was attacked by North Vietnam in the Gulf of
USS Maddox.
That is correct. Which Chinese communist leader supported North Vietnam?
Mao Zedong.
That's the right dong. What was the name of U.S. President Richard Nixon's plans to enable South Vietnam to fight without direct U.S. military presence?
Vietnamization.
That is correct. What event of the war caused many Americans to realize that, the contrary to what they had been told, victory was not near?
The same thing that I refer to it whenever my wife hosts a party at this house. Tet Offensive.
North and South Vietnam became the Socialist Republic of Vietnam in what year?
This is a trick question because everyone's going to say 1975 because that's when Saigon got overrun, but it was actually 1976 when they unified the country.
That is correct. What happened to Quang Nha province in 1968?
I mean, shit, probably a lot of fucking things happened there, but it's the My Lai massacre.
That is correct. And finally, who was the president of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, or North Vietnam, during most of the war?
Oh, Uncle Ho Chi Minh.
That is correct. Folks, Coach Kendo got another 100%. Maybe one of these weeks he'll play Name That Animal Volume 2. But until
Looks like a
then...
mud skipper.
Is that Muddy himself?
Maybe.
Well, 1 week we'll play this because it popped up last week when we took the other quiz. So, folks, if you want to see Coach Kendo try to guess an animal, let us know. We'll play along at home.
Monster 01, you joke, but whenever there's a party going on at my house like that, ask Jeff what I always send him. It is that. I always like, hey, it's just like Saigon. Hey, it's slick.
I was in junior high, dickhead.
Yep. I always expect that response. If I don't get that response, I'm very disappointed in my friends. I'm like, nah,
or Jeff is not there at the moment.
Yeah. But yes,
I was in junior high, dickhead. Give me a
I
break,
have-
right?
I have fun with my wife and her friends' expenses whenever there's a party. I'm like, it's like case on. It's at the end of the day, they'll overrun me, but I'll make sure I take control of the field by the end of the day.
Cave Hit played along at home and got an 8 out of 9. Kendo was too quick on the Maddox response.
Yeah, well, the USS Maddox, famously named after pitcher Greg Maddox. That's not true.
I didn't think so. Now, folks, our next segment is just a fun little one. I'm going to wait for Dion to come back because I made a button for this segment. I read a story and I had this natural but strong reaction to something. And it fits in with the theme of tonight's show. We're going to retitle this one, at least spiritually. This is the rerun episode where we talk about reruns a lot. So Dion is probably getting a rerun of a beer. What do you think he's drinking tonight? A Bell's Two Hearted IPA or a Laguitas?
Let's see. If it's Oberon season, I'm going to go with Oberon. And I think this is about the time of year where Oberon comes out because he loves tasting beer that has the flavor of fucking orange juice that sat out for about a week. That's what Oberon
That is really how it tastes.
I called it.
Oh, Mr. Oberon himself, Dion Green. What? You know what? Let's find out.
Shut up. Don't fuck around and disrespect Oberon. You're lucky it's not Oberon
I will.
Day, or I would be very upset.
Dion Oberon all over your face.
Hey! This was no. Don't join this sinking ship,
Dude.
Don't join this. Look at the adjective.
When I was living up in Michigan, I had people telling me, "Oh God, you got to get Oberon." Once this is the thing. So I had people tell me how great it was.
Missouri, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Move your mic closer.
Beer. You guys are downriver. Right? We got to keep giving you stuff to keep y'all from running off into the woods and stuff. So don't listen to him. Oberon is delicious.
Tastes like orange juice that
And
sat
he's
outside in the sun
He's
for a
lucky
week.
he has me where he can have it. You're welcome.
Right, because I couldn't just go to fucking Michigan and buy it myself.
No,
Well,
that's not
obviously,
possible.
When I get to the border,
He's
there's only going to be one car that they'll stop. The highway patrol will be sitting there waiting for me to stop me at the border. Be like, do you know this guy? And I'm like, yes. And then be like, okay, you may come in and buy Oberon. And if I say no, they're going to be like, turn around and get your ass back into fucking Indiana.
where you belong.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Hoosiers, right?
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
Yes.
Kendo's favorite people.
The actual Hoosiers, the not the ones from the
The
St.
Bobby
Louis
Knight Hoosiers.
metropolitan area. That is a different version of Hoosier that we don't like. People from Indiana, that's fine. Those Hoosiers are different.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Kendo, remind me to tell you a story off air about Hoosiers, okay?
Okay.
Folks, we have a
This
button
one
for the
time at
next-
Hoosier Camp.
Oh God, did you stick a flute?
That's a fucking those are trailer parks in and around the St. Louis metropolitan area in St. Francis, Jefferson, counties, Franklin counties. That's where you find Hoosier Camp.
If they ever do another remake of National Lampoon's Vacation, they should have Clark's car break down in that part of St. Louis. It'd be a lot funnier.
Yeah, I mean he's still liable to get shit stolen from his car and somebody trying to sell him meth.
Clark
what?
Griswold meets
You know what's funny? Franklin, Tennessee is the exact same way. I don't know what it is with like a county or a place named Franklin in the U.S. and it just is like the worst place ever. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Now, speaking of bad guys, sometimes an idea is so bad that it gets repeated. And when I saw this story, I had this thought, and I thought we have to talk about this.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Now,
Yeah.
if you couldn't see
Just went and
what
saw they re-showed that at our local theater. Took the boys to see it.
did they like it?
They fucking loved it.
Good.
Good.
And they're being
Good.
raised right.
I was gonna put
Now-
them up for adoption at the firehouse. They didn't.
That's okay. They'll be Ghostbusters when they grow up. They win either way.
Oh god, that's fair. That's fair. I would have allowed that to happen. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster as a kid.
I'm just saying. There are a few things I'm for, but if your kid, if you being you and you're showing your kids good movies all the time, and they look at bad creatures and they're like, I don't like this. Like, you know what? Get out. Get out
That's why I
right now.
love you. You get me. You
Yeah,
get me.
get out right now. Go. You and your brother get the hell out of my house.
So, this is because of last year's story. So, billionaire plans to dive to Titanic in this newly designed submersible.
It looked like a
We
stapler.
heard this story last year. And Kendo, how did it go last time?
The submarine got towards the bottom of the ocean and it fucking imploded and everyone died. And for 5 days, people were like, oh my God, where's the submarine? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Only to find out that the Navy had figured out that it fucking imploded like 4 days before that. So the rescue was futile. Everybody was crushed in the ocean pressure and they became a massive meme. They were being memed before they were declared to be completely dead. That's how fast the internet moved to declare victory over these idiots in a tin can with a fucking Logitech joystick.
Now, folks, you can hear our thoughts of it live as it was going down. I believe we started broadcasting right as they went missing. Is that how that went down? Because we were just like,
Yeah,
I
it was-
assume they're...
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was definitely like hours, like a couple hours had passed. We were doing the broadcast. It was just like, oh, okay, this is happening.
Is that going to be the big historical moment to have happened when we were live on the air? Like, people remember where they were when OJ was acquitted, or they remember where they were on a specific date and time. But do you think that was like, for us, that'll be the biggest historical moment to have ever happened while we're broadcasting this show? Or will we have something bigger? Or have we had something
On a
bigger?
Thursday night. A lot of shit happens on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
You know what, though, Dion? What if something tragic happened at a football game as we were broadcasting? That would be tragic.
That'd be pretty crazy. But at least, hey, people watching, we get some views out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God,
Do what
Tom
you gotta
Brady
do.
wanted to come back to football and
I'm
died.
gonna die hard on the broadcast. Let's go.
All right. Well, Dion, when we start covering sports in 2027, we need you and Kendo to be there on the sidelines with
That's right.
Aaron Andrews and Al
they
Michael.
need the headsets and the jackets is what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to be old school shit too, like fucking NFL on NBC from the 90s, fucking
Oh my
headsets and
God.
jackets.
Can we get you both smoking as well on air?
Yeah, well, dude, we can fucking
Nick,
go all the way back. We'll look like
Nick,
fucking
let's build him
Kendo
some
and
green
I
screen sets
would
and do it for later in the
100%.
year.
It would be Howard Cosell and Howard Cosell. Just
Dion and I
we're going-
here from the sideline
now,
of
if the game
Super Bowl
goes past
72.
11 o'clock, we might get a little sloppy. But hey,
You
that
gotta
makes
have-
for great television.
No, if the game goes past 11 o'clock, immediately you just start like we start seeing you have like the whiskey in the glass and the cigar, the cigarette, and you're just smoking, drinking on air, and it's like you gotta have the old school like 70s plaid jackets too.
Listen, don't get me wrong. When we are doing fan excursions at big events, I'll be very happy. But if your boy can at least have a drink in his hand, a cigar after the 11 o'clock Eastern mark, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. You want commentary?
All right, your contract demands have been met.
Let's
We
go.
expect performance.
Yeah.
Now, guys, is history going to repeat itself? Are we going to be reporting in a few weeks when that billionaire from Cleveland, Ohio, decides to go to the ocean floor? Will we be reporting the same outcome, or do you think he's going to get cold feet and just not go?
I think he's still going to go.
So he and the dude that was I keep wanting to say Oceanic, but whatever that they were friends, and this Ohio millionaire, he's run a Titanic excursion thing before, and he was very critical of the previous guy that didn't come back after his controller died. So I think he's gonna keep doing it, and dare I say, he was proof that the other gentleman was a dummy. That being said, it isn't going to be the last time we hear stuff or we hear a similar story of it going the exact same way, because it's just whatever it is about going to see Titanic, shit just apparently happens. And, these people are crazy, man. These people are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go ahead and go. I know he's going to go. And I think he'll get down there and he'll come back up and be like, see, it worked. I made it work. Everything's fine. And then the next dipshit's going to go down there and his fucking tin can and implode.
Well, the submarine this guy's using is a $20 million price tag, and it looks very, very like fucking. It looks like Apple made it. Basically, is what it looks like. I'm looking at.
Then it's okay. It'll be overpriced. It'll be safe.
And I'm looking at the PDF sheet of it right now and the specs. I'm like,
Was it assembled in China like the iPhone?
Yeah,
because that could be
Samsung.
A breaking point, literally.
Well, you know
what's
going to happen, Kendo, you know what's going to happen. He's going to make it down to the bottom, and then to make it to the top, he's going to upgrade, his settings or whatever, and buy that trip to the top. So it's a
well, he's gonna record a bunch of videos on his iPhone and send it back up to the top. But the problem is, it's going to be a fucking Windows computer, and the footage will be all grainy and shit.
Exactly.
Listen, this guy is an example of actually spending money to do this shit. Because when he was one of the voices in the community talking about the dude that didn't make it back, he was one of the people saying, hey, he cut corners. So yeah, this guy's concern is that the Oceanic or whatever messed up the industry. He was making money doing this because he's got $20 million submarines. So he's gonna keep doing it, but yeah, man, he's just mad that the other guy screwed up the marketability of this whole industry.
Will we ever see the day where people stop going to go see the Titanic? Because I feel like it's kind of one of those things. It's like not everybody wants to do it, and it's like what's the benefit of going? Because it's like you spend all this money to spend 3 hours in a fucking capsule. to sink to the bottom of the ocean to be like, hey, there's a boat that fucking sank 112 years ago. Wow, it looks like shit. All right, take me back up. And then you sit there for 3 hours or else you'll get the bends.
It's something I would never do, no matter the price tag.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal.
Yeah, it'd be like being like, hey, let's go see the bottom of the Mariana Trench. No, thank you. I'm good right here.
It's like human beings weren't designed to go. I mean, and you could say the same thing, like human beings weren't designed to fly, but people get on the death tube, and it's like, yeah, but it's different because if
it is a thing
goes right,
regular people cannot go and do, I'm not doing it. That very thing you just said. That very thing you just said. Going in the metal tube, I can afford it.
When I can afford to do a space trip, I want to go to space just to say I've been.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That'd be fucking awesome. It's like, so Jeff, what'd you do for your vacation? I went to outer space. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yep. And I don't know. Tell that story and you show the
homeboy fucked a Martian.
Yeah.
He was green. It was weird.
He was green. It was
turn
awesome.
that down?
Captain Kirk taught me well, boys. All right,
baby.
Can
our jeans mix?
Oh my god. Well, I mean, Hilton and other hotel companies are trying to build a fucking space hotel, so that's going to be a thing very soon. And with the International Space Station being
should go to a space hotel.
I mean, and
she already is a hoe.
Tell everybody.
Yeah.
There you go. And with the International Space Station being decommissioned in 2030, that's going to be interesting to see. So, yeah.
Let's broadcast from it. If they ever open it up to commercial hotels, folks, we're going to raise the money. Like, we're going to Japan next year. So that's the next step. We keep telling you we're going to put the world in world-class bullshitters.
Oh my God. To raise the money for one of us to go to the hotel. We're going to have to take out a fucking house loan or whatever.
No, there will be woke busters and other business things by the time 2030 rolls around. We'll be fine.
Plus, by the time they commercialize it, I mean, the free market will take place, and then you'll have discounts and things like that, and people undercut.
Look, the Star Wars hotel cruise. There's a limit.
Listen,
$3,000 a night, bitch.
When there are multiple space lines going up, that's when I feel it's gonna be safe to go. That free market shit, dog. You gotta be careful because what one motherfucker's doing it, you still go up there, and he's like, "Hey, I don't need to put a space door in here that fits." Yeah, I don't know about all that shit. You can go on that top of the line safely.
Here's the
there's 3 or 4 of them, then I'll go.
That's the free market, man. You got competition going at that point. I'm not saying just one person.
Well, I mean,
that's what we have now.
Listen, there's 3 or 4 because somebody had to be like, yeah, you can't just build them in mass and take over the market because that's how shit gets fucked up. There's got to be multiple of y'all motherfuckers because y'all be crazy with the regular people flying your stuff. Clearly.
Well, here's the thing. SpaceX has done it the best and safest because they've had very minimal problems. The Boeing Starliner was trying to launch, and it might launch, I think, June 1st, but they had
Once
a
they figure out if all the doors are going to stay on.
That's also true. So they had a gas leak, and they were going to shoot people into space on a Boeing fucking spaceship. Bad idea.
Yeah, no. NASA already proved in 1986 that's a bad idea.
Yeah. And Virgin Galactic is still they apparently killed 2 people when they tried to refuel one of their planes, and they're just now getting back to being somewhat operational. And even Blue Horizon or Blue Origin, Bezos' thing, he had a problem a few months ago or last year, and he had to re-up as well. So SpaceX is the only one that's done it consistently and safely. Yeah.
All right, Uncle Elon, sponsor us, Hail Thud, and we will broadcast WCTS from
surprising to hear because I was told that Elon Musk is a very bad person. I wouldn't think that he would take safety and security that seriously.
Well, I mean, when
that's SpaceX. that means there are a lot of people involved, But Uncle Elon.
Dion, are you telling me you're not going to buy a Nintendo 64 truck and drive around Lansing? Playing the Halo.
I saw one on the way to work today.
I've seen one in my neighborhood.
The one I saw was glossy black. It was the weirdest thing. It was the most futuristic thing I'd seen. I was like, what the fuck is this? It even had a QR code on the side. I was trying to like drive and not die and scan it. It was
Wait,
terrible.
somebody put a QR code on their car?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you do. You have a Tesla truck. Good
Dude,
for you.
it was a
even-
black
dude,
Tesla.
Even my wife was dunking on it when we were going to Texas a couple weeks ago because one passed us on the highway, and she's like, "What is that? It looks like microwave." I'm like, "That would be one of the Tesla trucks." And she's like,
The only
"Oh, how much is that?" I'm like, "Probably about 100 and something grand."
yeah.
Listen, we got one. We got one finally up here in Lansing, and it like people were talking about. They were like, "Damn, someone finally got one. Someone finally got one." Like, listen, man, if you all that other shit, that's if you can get it. There are still people on back order that done already spent $100 grand, still waiting on their truck.
Yeah, actually, my friend in Chattanooga, he's waiting for his whenever he gets one. When he does, I'll take video of it and
You have
do
to
the whole inside and out of it and make sure I get a ride in it to see how like what it's like. The only way that those
We'd be
look
better off
cool,
just getting a Chattanooga choo-choo.
the only way that those will look cool, the only ways I'll ever want one is when you have a fucking Halo Warthog or Halo Halo wrapper on that truck. That's the only way to look cool. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sure they can make that happen.
Right
Oh,
now,
100%.
Nick, those exist. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, somebody's either got it done or doing it right now. Like that's the only way that car can look cool is if you have a Halo Warthog's some sort of wrap on it. That's the only way it works.
Hey, folks in the chat, help us come up with a crazy prompt to make something weird. Last week we had that horse thing to scare Dion. Some people in the chat start typing in some crazy prompts. We're going to read some of these messages and have some more fun with you guys. So Headcase Laboratory says, "Hey guys, how do you feel about our next possible president being a convicted felon? Also, trading cream pies and don't be a menace while cream pieing." Well, I agree. Don't be a menace while cream pieing. That's just not good business. But anything else you guys want to say?
It's gonna be from a historically witnessing perspective. It's gonna be a wild ride. No matter what you believe, whatever. I don't care. We can all agree it's gonna be an interesting ride till November, baby. I'm gonna enjoy it. No matter what happens. Some people are gonna do and say some wild shit.
We are going to have so much fun. It's like we may not be sitting here and doing like news reporting, but it's going to bleed into us. It's going to be a wild ride, folks.
Yeah.
So join us.
Oh yeah, and if you want to forget the political stuff, also join us too.
Yeah.
I do have a new series.
We're here for the entertaining parts.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep. Don't worry, we are not going to be PBS in this. Don't worry. We weren't last time. Remember, we weren't. We were last time was really like messy and stupid, and it was like, all right, well, the time before that we were having fun with it, and now this time it just was like not something to have fun with. But I feel like the time is right because we live in a cartoon, and we live in like, you know how it starts. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. There's no best of times right now. It's just the times, and they somehow get shittier. So, folks, join us on this descent into depravity and what it is like to live in America in 2024. Let WCBS, this version of the news, give you an honest look at what it is like to live in a dystopia that is too stupid for a real science fiction writer to have conceived. Because we live in a world. Take it back. Mike Judge predicted this shit a while ago.
Yeah,
I blame what happened. I blame how it all started is when it hit 2015 and the hoverboard we got was just like some asshole kid on his phone on just like a battery powered thing. That's when you know that it went bad. That's when you absolutely positively know like, oh, somebody fucked up. That's when you know.
Biff is corrupt and powerful and married to your mother.
Yeah, somehow, we skewed into an alternative timeline and
it happened. Yeah. It happened when Harambe died.
I could have stopped it, guys, if I'd only had known. I was only 10 minutes away.
Why weren't you
fucked up, Jeff?
handling that, son? Like, come on, man. Fuck it up for all of us.
Right. I was on the beach collecting 20%.
Listen. We need to go to CERN, and you need to step inside of it, and then we'll shoot you back. We'll shoot you back.
Listen,
that's how that works, right?
Nick, what would it take you if they could say we can randomly shoot you back to a time? What would it take for you to go back?
I would have to know, like,
there's no guarantee you'll come back.
Okay, that's fine. But give me a time period of when I'll be shot to, because depending on when and where I'm going to end up, depends on whether I'm going to live or not.
That's fair. I want the same question for you guys. What would it take for you to go back? Are you just very like content with 2024, or like what could the CERN people give you to go back in time? Same question for the audience.
Where?
I mean, here's my thing.
Depends on.
Do I get to pick when I go back? And two, like, do I get to
Not
say I want to go back?
You kind of have to take it the way Nick is. It's just like you'll get like a possible range. So Dion, you might be sent back to 1595 or 1959. You don't really have we don't have the ability. We can just kind of like imagine it like this. It's like time travel is like this moving target that flows on a timeline, and it's like cyclical, and you have to like shoot it. And so like basically they're going to be able to shoot you and predict where you'll land. So there'll be an approximation. So they're looking for
you get to come back. Or is it like,
it's a one-way trip.
Terminator rules where you get to go back, but there's no going back and forth?
It's a one-way trip.
Oh, man.
Now, here's the deal. If it's a one-way trip, you get to pick the time range.
Listen, I don't do hypothetical with all these rules, motherfucker. Like, if that's all these rules, I'm just staying in 2024. Like,
I thought that was your answer.
In all honesty, that's probably your best bet.
And everything. But I got a thick white girl.
It's monkey paw rules, man. There's always going to be a problem.
You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with this shit right here. If I got to deal with all these fucking small print, you might go back. Fuck it. I'm just staying. Fuck it. I'll risk it.
Yeah.
I'll risk it. Euthanasia
I would
is
say
legal
Dion
in some
should
places.
stay.
Dion's Dion's one of those kids at the Willy Wonka thing. It's like, read the fine print. Nah, fuck it. Just sign my name.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm gonna,
well, he's got the most to
everything.
lose. He's got the most to lose because anything within or beyond the last 40 years, things are radically different for him. So that's
why I too would probably stay. I can't tell everyone I'm Italian or some weird ethnicity.
Yeah.
I can't get away with it. It's like I'm part Greek.
I can. I probably could get away with the Italian or Greek thing. I could probably do that.
Well, no, because if you get sent back to a certain point in like American history and you're like, oh, I'm Indian, they'd be like, oh, okay, what tribe? And then you
have the most
Idaho tribe.
Go back tribe. Kendo.
Yeah, Kendo.
Yeah, well, the problem is this. So here's the problem. If I get sent back within the last couple hundred years, I should be okay. But say I get sent back like 1600. And I'm looking the way I do, and I have all this knowledge about stuff that's going to come after
You're
this.
A witch.
They're going to tie my ass to a fucking stick and set me on fire.
Listen, even a couple hundred years ago, it's like the way people speak is different. You know what I'm saying? Like I need within the regular bounds of I can adapt. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, you put a gun to my head, I'm like, listen, I'll start wiping floors and shit. I ain't gonna cause no trouble, you know what I'm saying? I'm back in 1775, I'll figure out a way, you know what I mean? Like I'll do
I'll figure out a way.
Oh my God. I don't mind that, but you gotta give me like the last 60 years. Anything past 100, I'm getting a little queasy. I'm getting like, I don't know, bro.
I don't have any desire to go back to like past a certain point because there's nothing that I'd want to be a part of. We lived in an era where analog and digital technology existed, so we understand what it was like to be at like an old person's house where it was the analog world. Like,
listen, you have to learn a whole new language essentially. Like the way people spoke a couple hundred years ago is just different. It's just a different thing, man.
But you would still understand what they were saying. Like you could go all the way back like the mid 1400s and your English is mutually intelligible with the way
it ain't talk. Like you going from Missouri to fucking, New Mexico. I got to deal with some Spanglish and shit. Like it's like we kind of understand it. Like it is a whole different.
It's just a different proper accent is all.
Listen, a couple hundred years ago, Latin is relevant.
What did I do?
You know what I'm saying? For us, that shit, Latin was a thing. Some motherfuckers talked it. It was,
motherfuckers.
a
Hold on,
thing.
Dion. Is this how to explain an entire language badly?
Yes, yes.
The motherfucker's
As in
fucking-
badly. As in you ain't going back. It ain't the way you. It ain't the. This is not. What's that dude? It ain't a Michael Crichton novel. You know what I'm saying? Oh, fuck.
Oh, there's no robots. You're not stuck in a theme park.
Like you gotta remember, a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, they
we
learned
don't
Latin
have
a couple hundred years ago, but it's not like we were
political-
walking up and down the streets of Philadelphia fucking speaking Latin to each other in 1800.
Right,
Okay,
but the
damn.
influence on the language is way different. It's not like today. We don't have like how they spoke in conversation. Like it's a whole other language. Just
We
a
have
couple hundred
documents
years ago.
from a couple hundred years ago that are written in English that everybody can fucking understand.
You understand the words, but the context, it sounds like fucking gibberish. Just from a couple hundred years ago. Like,
Okay,
we're
give
talking
me a
about
document from a
people-
couple hundred years ago that sounds like gibberish.
Nick, pull something
It
out.
sounds you talking about the farthest you can go back is maybe you would have to stay within the turn of the century.
No,
Yeah, you
no,
can't
you
do-
wouldn't.
The year
Yes,
2000?
it is a whole different ball game, baby.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
Is it
1900s.
the turn
yeah.
of the century, Dion, the year 2000?
We're
We're going back
100
24
years
years?
ago is 1924.
Is 1924, and we
Yes.
have documents
That's
and
100
fucking
years ago.
movies from
200 years
1924
ago
that
is
are in English that we can understand clearly.
1824 is 200 years ago. That's a couple hundred years ago.
And
Hold
we
on,
have
you're talking
documents from
three,
1824 written in English that we all understand.
1724.
Don't we all understand the Constitution?
Listen,
Yes, and it was written in fucking
1724.
1787.
Yes, and 1724 is prior to all that. Things are going to sound a lot
What
different.
about
And we have
1724
documents from
special?
Listen, the way they
1724
spoke
written
in
in fucking English that we can
1724,
understand.
It is. No, you're accounting for the language gap every time. So it's not like the same
What
words. mean
fucking
the same
language
shit.
gap?
Time, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm going to read you this document here
There are
from
not. There are.
150
Listen,
years ago or 250 years ago. Tell me
All
if
right,
you can
Kendall.
understand it. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, do you still understand that?
so you talk like that. You can talk like that.
We still
Yes,
understand
it's called fucking
Shakespeare.
English.
And it was written during the time. No,
When
hold
they
on.
spoke English.
No, where 70% of the population cannot read or write.
But
So
they
how
can
they
talk.
wrote? No. So they did not speak like that. They did not speak like that. That's written language,
Chat, you're a
right?
linguistics expert.
So it's different. People,
Call
the way
in.
that people read and write is different because 99% of our population can read and write. You're talking about a time where
they fucked up
it ain't
the
like you
language.
can't just walk down to the store and talk to a dude to give you food. You're walking miles away. You got to walk that shit. That dude may not be able to speak and write. He learned from his pappy, who barely learned English, from his mammy, who that motherfucker couldn't read. So the way they speak
they
is
can
way
still
fucking
talk.
different. It's
I have
way
a 2-year-old
different.
that can't fucking read, but he can say words.
That's just 300 years ago. People could barely fucking communicate. You think talking to rednecks now is tough? Imagine rednecks who don't know how to write the.
but they
That was
can
the
talk.
majority of the country, bro. I mean, you get it. You Appalachian and shit, but it ain't the same. People, when that was written, people then didn't know what that meant.
They didn't know what
The
those words
majority
meant.
of the country didn't know what those words meant.
So they read "We the People" and they're like, "I don't know what that fuck that is. What is that?"
Yes. Someone had to
What's
explain it
people
to me.
mean? I don't get it. What is a we?
Yes. Here's this thing, and it's all the we the people, and you're like, we people. That means all of us. Okay, say the next sentence. That's the majority of the people in the country. It's a very different lifestyle. You are lucky that you can walk to someone outside on the street who can read and write. Back then, hey man, I need something. What do you mean? What's that? Fuck. So it's a thing that
So
you
you're
write
saying
on.
because they didn't know how to read or write, they had no idea what words meant because they couldn't just have somebody
Certain
point
words,
at something
yeah.
and say frying
lot of
pan
words.
and know that that's what that meant.
That's exactly what it means. You gotta wrap your mind around it. It's completely.
No, I
it's a
know
different
because it
time.
sounds like retarded bullshit.
Listen, if you think that everyone in 1724 knew how to read and
Knew
write
how
and
to
speak
talk,
clearly,
yes, and they knew how to communicate with each other, yes.
You sit on here multiple times. No, some kids are so dumb you don't know what they say. I say, what? That's everyone you talk to in 17.
No, that's just their fucked up vernacular and slang that they try to invent words that sound cool.
Times 100. Times 100.
Yes, I'll give you
Everyone.
that.
That's everyone around you.
You could go back to 1724 and the guy could be as literate as fuck trying to shoe horses, but he can still talk to you and tell you, yes, that's a horse. I'm going to take this horseshoe and I'm going to nail it into its hoof. He knew what those words were, not because he fucking read them, but because he heard other people talk and say
He doesn't know big words. He doesn't know big words. He doesn't know big words. You're gonna say Confederate. He's gonna say what?
They didn't have
Bitch, I just have this horse over here, and my son is learning
we're
how to
jumping
say
100 and something years now. Hold on, we got to stick with one time period. We can't jump 100 years.
Yeah,
I
we're
ain't jump
more
100
fluid
years.
with timelines nowadays than people are with their genders.
Listen,
Oh my God.
listen, baby. It ain't they. Not everybody. It translates. It's a whole other world.
Listen,
So
Nobody can
in
read that.
Dion
Listen,
land, before 1924, people were walking around going, ooh, 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 and pointing at shit, and then they'd see like somebody light a match, freak out, and start running into their cave.
Don't songs
No.
exist from back then that we still sing?
Yes.
You know,
Oh my God.
that people that
Nursery rhymes are 400 something years
like
old.
how we all learn music.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
What are
that
you
the language
saying?
barrier. One way that you learn how to communicate is through the ability to read and write. And when it's
Yeah,
all
you
you
learn how to
only
communicate with the written
the
language.
people who can't read don't
Can
learn
still
to speak
talk.
the same as people who learn how to read. There's a
They can
huge
still
gap.
talk.
Yes, they can. I'm not saying they can't talk. I'm saying that you could say a sentence and they don't know half the shit you're talking about.
They might not understand half of what you're talking about, but they can still
It's not
fucking
my
talk to you in words you
motherfucker.
can
And it's the
understand.
majority of people who can't read and write. They learn through word of mouth. Do the people who don't know how to read all hang out with people who can read? No. It's all small ass farm communities.
They're all dead
Not
now, so it
everybody
doesn't
goes to
matter.
school, son.
They're all dead by hundreds of years. Like their grandchildren are dead. Their children are dead. They're still dead. Like we could go a couple generations. They're all
But they
dead.
could at least talk to each other when they were alive and understand what each other was saying.
Are you sure
because
about
they
that,
knew-
Kendo? They didn't just like grunt and like use.
They were just grunting and pointing and fucking.
fire.
Hey,
That's how they got
Listen.
married. They fucking clubbed some girl over the head and dragged her off. I mean, shit. The early 1900s was woo.
I know. I saw
Listen.
There Will Be Blood.
It's
Listen,
like we
listen,
just
shoot
climbed
me.
out of the trees.
Shoot me back to like 1975, okay?
You might not understand
in
what
a
they're
major,
saying,
a
Nick.
major city, and I'll be fucking happy. I'll live out
You
my life.
would do
that
well
way.
in the 70s. Like your look in the 70s, people be like, yeah, that guy. Okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
get,
back
yeah,
to your
because
favorite
when
year.
you hear about the 70s, like nobody really knows what happens. It was very like it was a lot of drugs and strobe lights, so it's fine. I'll get by.
There was like a lot of shit that went down in the 70s too. It wasn't like what decade does it like kind of get safe in general? Not about like color or anything, just like I keep thinking like 1970s New York. I'm like, it's still a shithole. 1980s New York.
The
still a shithole.
90s.
90s, everything gets a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially if you're
actually.
talking like New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but,
I'll go back to 99 and just I know what I'll do. I'll go outside of movie theaters and ruin the endings of like The Sixth Sense
There
and
you go.
Star Wars and The Matrix. I'm like, I'll start a business. It'll be like $2 because that's a lot back then.
Jeff standing outside the fucking movie theater. He was dead the whole time. Qui-Gon gets killed. John Lennon gets shot. Wait, no, that already happened.
Yeah. OJ's innocent, allegedly. No, what I'll do is people can pay me $2 and I'll give them a synopsis of the movie. So it's like, oh, you're here to see You've Got Mail. All right, Tom Hanks falls in love with Meg
who
Ryan.
the fuck? Who the?
Nobody cares.
Why
about
did
that
you?
movie being
Why did you go to
spoiled.
that movie? You could have gone to
Because
anything
I
else.
remember what it was like to be alive back then, and I remember
my God.
everybody seemed to care about this really stupid movie where Tom Hanks got
No.
mail.
I
Like,
love.
we need to watch that for the channel because it's like, oh my god, a romance through email.
Wait, no. I love
No,
how when
what?
the movie, I love how when the movie came out, the You Got Mail like sound and everything out was already fucking old. It was already
Yeah.
old.
Email had already existed for like 6 or 7 years. It's like, no, getting an email is not a big deal anymore. But people do it regularly. Like half the population gets email. They can't read it because apparently this happened so long ago that they were all illiterate. And they just grunted and freaked out and ran away when the sound went off.
It's true. What was I wonder what the 80s were like. They didn't know how to. Oh my
Since
God.
the turn of the century is when everybody got literate.
Yeah.
24 years of literacy. Yes.
Dude, we need a t-shirt about that. America 24 years of literacy.
I'm glad you got a degree because you are one silly motherfucker.
DIT, man. DIT. Hey,
Folks, if you're in the chat, tell us what year in the year since the 21st century started that you learned how to read and write.
is this the year? Or are you today's years old when you learned how to express
Listen.
yourself?
For me, it was last year. Last year, I finally learned to fully read and write. Okay, just last year.
Guys,
I'm proud
I got a
of you guys.
confession. I still
I'm proud
can't.
of you guys.
I just guess what the super chat says.
Jeff copy pasted the super chat through AI and he hears it in his ear.
Yeah, that's why there was a delay, folks. Now the Siri has read them to me. Now I'm ready to read this one from that's the guy with the zero. Shrebbles 08. Kendo, what was the year that Ho Chi Minh declared independence for Vietnam?
1945 after the August Revolution.
Okay. Also, I need 2 buttons. Horses for Dion and a message, please. Of course, let's get those pulled up for you right now. Thank you, Shrebbles 08, for bringing us the word of the day, as always, and thank you for everything. So, let's see here. For some reason, StreamYards is a bit slow, just like my friend the town is back that way, so give me a minute while this tab wants to load. Guys, what'd you have for dinner while the tab loads? Was it good? There we go. It loaded. We can
I
stop.
haven't had it yet.
All right. Well, Dion, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the other one for Kendo.
Message! Message! Message!
The irony is that movie came out 30 years ago and they wouldn't have been able to read what the message said anyway.
How do we understand?
Oh my god, this is gonna last like 3 weeks now. I swear to God, it's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, you know, like
literacy.
there's that old story about like when the British were going to attack and Paul Revere went on his ride and everything like that. The fucked up part is all those farmers had no idea what the hell he meant by the British are coming because they didn't know how to read.
God damn it!
They didn't understand those words. They're like, what does that mean?
God, you are.
I'm just a poor illiterate farmer.
Bless your heart. God damn.
I'm gonna
Bless
change
your
this episode to Dion learns to read on iTunes.
Oh my God, please do.
I'm talking to fucking Magaloids over here. It's great.
Doctor in training.
Doctor in.
Which ironic too, because I graduated high school, after the century started, but I didn't know how to read or write until the century started.
God damn it!
And comprehension is very clearly. I'm glad history was what your doctorate is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the hell I'm going to understand any of that shit written 300 years ago because I mean it's in English, but they didn't know how to read or write back.
I don't
then.
know what you're saying. It's just easier to say. I don't know what you're saying. It's easier to say.
Oh, I know what you're saying. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
I'm not saying that from the 70s you couldn't speak.
Oh, I got a cramp. Ow.
That's what I'm saying.
Folks, if you have any other firsthand sources, because like Shakespeare supposedly wrote all this stuff in the 1600s. People went and saw the plays, but because they didn't know how to read, they couldn't understand what the actors were saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yes, it is. You're literally saying if you went back in time 200 years ago, you wouldn't understand anything people were saying.
All I'm saying is the difference in time. It's just the difference in language. Is all I'm saying.
Yes, I understand the language evolves.
You can infer as much as you would like. I'm not saying that
it's kind of hard to infer when I'm trying to find a needle in a haystack in whatever logic you're throwing out here.
Your Southern education has done its thing.
That's Midwestern, just like yours was.
It wouldn't be easy to just simply. I'm not saying that you don't know how to read. There are differences. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're
All
right.
right,
I
well,
picked
look.
up I've read documents from like the 1800s, and I understood everything they said, which is weird because you told me I wouldn't understand what they were saying.
I didn't say that you wouldn't understand. I'm saying I'm not saying it's not English. I'm not saying it's like you trying to read Cantonese. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, because I can't read Cantonese. You're right.
Yeah,
I would be illiterate
every minute
in
of this.
Cantonese.
Right. Yes.
All right, let's see what Boar Legion has to say, because it's about beer and it's about you, Dion. Dion, have you had the Deutsches IPA? I started drinking these and I couldn't get Lagunitas. Sucks of Lucky 13 anymore. I love them.
I have had that. It's very good. Very good.
We should get them for Lakeside Lockdown. We gotta get Cervezas Cristal for that.
Cervezas Cristal.
I know a guy who knows a guy who can get them from across the street. So
Oh,
I'll
nice.
get them.
That guy sounds like a nice guy who's gonna help us get some Cervezas Cristal.
Yeah, I'll make sure we have at least 18 for each person. So it'll be okay.
Yeah, you know what? I need the Kendo cart. That's the record
The
number. of
Kendo
beer.
cart.
That was a very
You know
big
what?
luggage rack.
You know what? I want to
beer.
steal a fucking big ass luggage cart and just keep it from a hotel one day.
When I buy a house, I'm gonna have a hotel luggage cart in my basement. I don't know why, but
Because,
it'll
like,
just be
it's-
down there for fun.
We've taken them from hotels before and left them in shitty places. We've used them for all kinds of dumb shit. We just need one to have somewhere.
I like how by shitty places you mean we left it in the hallway in front of our door because we didn't put it in the elevator.
That too. I mean, there is one still, probably on the sidewalk of that what is it? Indiana Convention Center for Horror Hound that we left.
No, Phil took it back in.
Did he really? Oh yeah, he did. Okay, all right. So it's not rusting out in the fucking cold.
If it sat there since September, that's a them problem. Like
That is a them problem.
Like, I get it. It was an inconvenience that it was gone for 10 extra minutes, but it's back inside.
Whatever.
But if you let it sit out there for months and months, it's not our fault. And so, folks, we need a WCBS luggage cart. Nick, let's get them. Let's do luggage cart races in the future in Briarville.
The only problem is all four of those wheels move independently. I mean,
Hey, it's a risk I'm willing to take for each one of us. I will speak for.
I feel like we could get some crazy wild-eyed scientist to put a motor and a steering wheel on it.
I mean, yeah, but okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it steers when all four wheels can move independently.
Hey, I didn't say it was going to be a good idea or a safe idea, just an idea.
I mean, we'll get helmets.
Yeah, we'll get helmets.
So, Georgian, thank you very much. Just watch Lupin the Third versus Cat's Eye on Prime. 3 Phantom Thief sisters going against the master himself. You can watch Cat's Eye legally on YouTube, Jeff. Also, don't look up why chainsaws were invented. Well, I'm going to take a screenshot of that because now I need to look that up.
I know why chainsaws were
Yeah, was it
invented.
head surgery or whatever?
Huh?
Surgery was invented for, wasn't it? Something crazy like that.
Surgery, but not head surgery. It was made for OBGYNs during birth.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah, because they really wanted to get that kid out any way possible.
It's just like, no, never mind. It's like Evil Dead shit.
Yeah, basically, it was. That's how it was every time. It's like groovy. Vroom, I'm getting that kid out, and then just
You have to like gauge the depth so you don't cut the kid open. Oh, Jesus.
Jeff. There was a lot of people back then, obviously, who couldn't read and couldn't understand languages.
So
I'm
they
sorry.
just
I'm sorry. I
birth.
had to say it, but they were also high and drunk a lot. So yeah.
That's true. Didn't they just give you booze for surgery?
Internet.
Both. I'd say just as much
Yes.
now than before.
Yes.
It's just more legal.
Yes.
Like people didn't think they were going to go to hell if they drank too much, or they don't anymore. They used to.
Yeah. Well. I mean, also back then, it was safer to drink beer than water. So
It still is in most parts of the world.
yeah, actually, you're right.
You can get a Cervezas Crystal. You know you got the most delicious, fresh, crispest beer known to the galaxy. Even Luke Skywalker drinks 2 a day. And if Luke
Drinks 2 a
Skywalker does
day.
it, It's good enough for me. So, folks, be like
Oh my
Luke
God.
Skywalker, drink 2 Cervezas Crystals, and let's actually finish out the super chat. Because I wanted to say, so Georgian, I started to watch this actually. I got through the boat chase in the beginning. And I was on board, but I had to go somewhere. So I was like, all right, I'll come back to watch it. So thanks for reminding me. I'll go back and finish it. I love Lupin the Third. I got 2 Lupin figures up there. And when we go to Japan next year for Star Wars Celebration, you damn sure know that I'm going to be looking for Lupin the Third, Golgo 13, and other random Japanese action figures that I got to add to the collection. And we'll turn it into a bunch of videos for you guys as well. So keep following us, keep watching the channel, and help us spread the word about what we're doing with WCBS. But Sir Georgian, thank you very much. Again, the browser tab froze. Thank you, StreamYard. No other tabs frozen on this computer. There's this derpy Kathleen Kennedy photo. I'll just close that. But yeah, here we go. It has moved. Xavier to God, thank you very much. Dion and Kendo, will you guys get the new NCAA coming out? And when's the last time you guys played or bought Madden? Also, is NFL 2K better than Madden? Loaded question, guys. Let's answer them all.
Okay. I mean, it's an easy question. Yes, I will be buying the new NCAA game when it comes out because I've been waiting. What are we up to now, Dion? 12 years since the last NCAA game?
Easily 12 years.
So I will definitely be doing that because every time I go back to Camp Kendo, I always fire up the PS2 and bust out NCAA 2006. Last time I bought Madden was 2020 or 2021. It was whenever Mahomes was on the cover for the first time. I didn't want to play it. I bought it for $5 on clearance, and I just kept it because the greatest quarterback of all time was on the cover next to the luckiest, most cheatingest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. And then
John Elway had already been on video game boxes, Kendo. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck you for even thinking that John Elway belonged in the conversation. A horse-faced piece of shit douchebag. I wish he was the GM of
That's why he was on the Broncos, bro.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but the last time I actually bought a Madden game to actually play and enjoy was probably 2004 because I've hated Madden for quite a while. And yes, NFL 2K was better than Madden because NFL 2K5 was probably one of the greatest football games ever made.
Even I had it.
And that's why EA made sure they locked down the licensing to the NFL because if you noticed, their competition in other sports games got weeded out real quick because they didn't like the idea that other people could come along and make sports games better than they did. That's why they locked down the NFL, the NHL, NBA, all that shit.
I remember the last NFL 2K game being at Value City for super cheap on PS2. I just remember that everywhere. I was like, damn, they're just getting rid of this one. So I got it real cheap. I've never owned one, even though I'm not asked in this question. Dion, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I would say that, yeah, I'm going to buy the new NCAA game. The last Madden game that I bought was, I think the last one was 2016. And even then I was buying like every other year. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been waiting forever for this shit. So, yeah, I'm going to get it. Plus the multiple people that I've talked shit to that I kicked their ass in NCAA, that you got to prove it now. So that's
not
the other
Jake.
thing.
Jake will beat you, man.
Jake ain't gonna beat me. Loudy either. Fuck you, Loudy. Matt, I stopped buying that shit years ago when they changed online play and they focused on the all-time team and getting cards and all that. And like you said, it's EA. So, I have no reason to buy Madden now, but and hopefully NCAA doesn't become Madden. But hey, it is EA.
At least it's nice that the 2K wrestling games are great, Dion. You're missing out on 2K24. You got to get yourself a copy. It's like really that good. It's fun, man. I might get it. You can now throw weapons at people. Like there's a giant Slim Jim, and if you press circle on PS4, they just wing it right in their face. You can take light tubes. You can wing them in the face with light tubes. I like to take the steel steps, and when they're coming at me, just throw it in their face, and then it'll bounce off their head. Sometimes you can catch it if you're really good. It's a great game. I really enjoy it. Xavier to God has a game for us. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Michael Bay, TMNT, and Transformers and live-action G.I. Joe. Kendo, since you're a TMNT guy, you go first, sir.
So Michael Bay, TMNT, and Transformers, and live action G.I. Joe. I will fuck G.I. Joe, marry Transformers, and kill TMNT.
Dion?
Hated that movie.
Marry Transformer. Marry Transformers, fuck TMNT, and kill live action G.I. Joe, because that shit was just.
Yeah, I'm
Just
going I'm going with Kendo's same lineup. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah. Fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Kill my Beverly Hills Cop 4 vibe. Also, we have a super chat from our pal Enrique, but I'm going to press this for him too.
Okay, listen, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I got freaks 9 days out of the week. I can give him. I was only 7 days in a week. Man, you ain't big pop. I'm the big bad booty daddy. It's nonstop. Now listen, English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
There you go, Enrique. Thank you very much. English mother F. Do you speak it? See, I read it. There we go. Now, if you went back in time, I think it would be funny to do a movie like another one where a guy goes back in time and uses so much like not even modern slang, but just shit that's like been accepted for the last 30 to 50 years. So it feels like it's whatever speech to us, and just see like old people respond to being called motherfuckers like in 1700s. See how they react.
They would understand what you were saying.
Wait, when Terminator goes back, will we be able to be understood by the people?
Depends on how far back you go, Jeff. If it's anything before 1960, he's fucked.
I think that's the case, though, for many reasons. Anyway, Adam Walker, thank you very much. Hey, Dion, just stew. Modern day English hasn't changed since 1400s. Letters from Blackbeard can be read today, but letters from King Richard is hard to read. I can see the public education at work.
Oh my God.
Was that a burn on Dion?
Shots fired.
I think it's a shots fired. Although it's technically shots fired at 3 of the 4 of us.
Modern English hasn't changed to 1400s. Okay.
Wait, was I? That wasn't a dig at me. Thanks.
No,
Adam
you were
Walker.
private school.
Yeah.
No, modern English hasn't changed since.
I'm sure modern English has had a couple lineup changes over the years, Ken.
Just go read the.
It hasn't changed to 1400s. No, he said it. He said it hasn't changed.
Go read the great vowel shift
that
happened.
Hasn't changed at all.
No one ever said it hasn't changed at all. We've talked. We mentioned
You just said it. You said it.
You
guys.
Okay?
It was a big
I made a joke about the
it hasn't changed at all since
1980s.
the 1400s. It
I
hasn't
don't-
changed at all since the 1400s. It's a big break.
No one said it hasn't changed at all since the 1400s. Adam Wofford says it hasn't changed since 1400s. It has changed in terms of slight things, different words meaning different things, and things like that. But you could go back to like 15,
Only a couple,
15, have a
only a couple,
conversation with somebody.
Only a couple then. Only a couple because he's wrong, but not like kind of. He's only kind of because it hasn't changed since the 1400s.
Xavier to God has a game for us to play, guys. Pushberry Fire. Matt Hardy, Marty Jannetty, and Billy Gunn.
That's a tough shit. I don't know. Okay, marry Billy Gunn because he won King of the Ring.
Bupe, bupe.
Barry Matt Hardy because of at least he has the Hardy Boys, and fire Marginetti.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Billy Gunn's the best of the 3, and
Yeah.
Party Marty could have been one of the best of the 3, but he was doing a little too much, and he's turned into a fucking head case.
Yeah, too much partying, Marty.
He really has, dude.
He is a trip. Did I tell you? I told you guys how we were going to take him out once, right?
Yeah.
That was I'm glad we dodged that.
Listen. Every time you say that you're glad you didn't, I'm obviously mad because the stories would have been hilarious, but I don't know if I want you hanging out with Marty Jannetty when I'm not.
Buddy,
like I don't trust that dude.
I want to hang out with Marty Jannetty. It was like a situation where I thought to myself, "Hey, this might cost me $200. It might cost me my life. It wasn't worth it." So, I'm here, folks. I decided to live for you guys.
That was smart. You got to be on your P's and Q's if you're fucking buying drinks for Marty fucking Jannetty. That's for sure.
Now, I'll tell you this. I would buy bottomless drinks for Ric Flair to hear those stories. So,
Yeah.
Or he would just get you thrown out of the pizza place.
woo! All right,
And he's a lot less likely to like randomly try to get you in a bar fight. Like he'll talk shit, but Marty be doing wild shit with a gimp leg.
I wouldn't. If Ric Flair started talking shit, I would just think he's cutting a promo on me and listen.
Yep.
I'm just like, thanks, man. Thanks, Nate. That's a good one. I'm going to use that. And he's probably just going to slur half of it and scream at you like this, and then touch your chest. It's just like, he's old. Bartender, one more round. And then he does an old man flop on the bar and goes, woo! And that's it. I want to party with Ric Flair. Pushberry Fire, Hardcore Holly, Mr. Kennedy, and Chris Masters. Well, I will.
Bush Kennedy.
Yeah.
Barry, Hardcore Holly, and Fire Chris Masters.
Yep. That's exactly where I was going, man. No love loss for fucking Chris Masters. He was not a terrible wrestler, but not a good wrestler.
Chris Adonis now.
Well, I wish him the best. Oh, guys, you got to go back and watch the last 2 episodes of TNA Impact. I'm on them, so tell me what you think.
I got Triller TV, god dang it.
Go look for last week's episode or look for the match with Santana. He fights God, what's his name? Something Mike Macklin or Jake Macklin or some shit like that. It is like his entrance, we didn't realize that he was going to be on TV and need to walk through the crowd. So he goes to Phil and he's like, move. And Phil goes, no, because he doesn't know who it is. He just feels somebody tap him on the shoulder. And so the guy has to go around and all this shit. And I just want to see if it shows up on TV. So if somebody finds the link to that, yes, that is me in the crowd. I'm taller and giant compared to all the wrestlers. Here we go. Rod Thunderheart says, hail, Jeff and WCBS. See-through love plug. A Spanish teacher can become invisible when angry, but when aroused, it happens uncontrollably. It's shocked to find out the new gym teacher is blind, but can see her when invisible. You can find it at Frisian Press. Now, folks, I have a copy of See-Through Love. I did support Rod Thunderheart. I like to support independent creators out there because we want to be the change in entertainment. So, folks, Rod Thunderheart's out there doing it. We're out there doing it. Folks, support local independent stuff. We get it. We know what it's like. We're out there too. We know the prices of cherries. For $18 for a little bag, I was like, no, thank you. My point is, we appreciate you guys all the time, and check out everybody's stuff because the next great thing is only going to be available for a small window of time, and we got to get these people out there creating more stuff. And Rod Thunderheart's one of those people as well. Rod also says, hail, Jeff and WCBS. I've got a fair collection of PS3 games I haven't even touched. Given the crap new games are doing with DEI through Unreal Engine, basically new games, I'll waste no time playing. You know, Rod, this is a lot like when I was unpacking the toy collection and I went, oh shit, I didn't realize I had Forge. Oh man, I didn't realize I had this one. It's like a brand new thing. It's exciting when you dust off something old you haven't used in a while. What are some of the games that you found that you're into? I mean, PS3 was not my most played PlayStation. That's why it's like unplugged over here on the floor compared to, well, it's on a stand. But anyway, Dion, you were the big PS3 guy. What was the best game on the PS3?
Oh, shit, man. It was a lot, especially, because I could play so much of it. I didn't get the.
Did you say Sonic 06?
No, even though I bought that for Hillary. No.
That's real love right there, folks.
Probably, Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 2 is probably the best game on that shit. Was pretty crazy. God of War 3 was awesome on PS3.
I'm gonna go on Uncharted 3.
Uncharted 3 was awesome on PS3, yeah.
Even though I played it on PS4.
Oh, well. Yeah, the port counts.
Yeah, hurry up, quicker.
Hurry up, quicker.
Pushberry Fire from our pal Xavier to God, Jeff Jarrett, Lex Luger, and Diesel. Big Daddy Cool.
Push Jeff Jarrett because he's the best wrestler of the three. Barry, Diesel, and Fire Lex Luger.
Yeah, not
Agreed.
to be jumping on that bandwagon, but Jeff Jarrett made it in multiple generations of wrestling, multiple eras. Lex Luger is a remnant of one era of wrestling, and Diesel was better as Kevin Nash. We'll leave it at that. Rod Thunderheart, thank you very much again. Hail, Jeff. Script Doctor turned me on to heels. AWSU, awesome show. Pray they'll revive it for a 3rd season. Hope you're enjoying the book, See Through Love, Part 2, Pyro coming. All right. I love See. Rod, I need to take Script Doctor's advice, and I need to check out Heels myself. Stephen Amell is cool in my book because he came to wrestling and he did it for real. Much like, even though I hate to give him credit, Logan Paul is not a bad pro wrestler. We know what pro wrestling is. It's a performance. We're not unaware of how it works. But the guy does a good job. His flips look cool. You hate him as a heel. It was convincing. So
little me, damn it.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch. Another Pushberry fire from our friend Xavier to God, Adrian Neville, Evan Bourne, and Ricochet. Now remember, with Ricochet, you get Samantha Irving.
Push Neville, bury Ricochet, and fire Evan Bourne.
Push Neville, bury Bourne, fire Ricochet.
I'll push Neville, bury Ricochet, fire Evan Bourne. Evan Bourne's boring. Like the other week or last month when we watched the AEW pay-per-view that he was on, or maybe we saw him wrestle live. I can't remember. But I just like Googled him and I went through all this WWE stuff and I'm like, this guy was always boring. Like he's a very talented wrestler. I'm not taking that away from him, but he was just so generic. Like, yeah, he did a cool backflip, but then he did this and jumped around and smiled like a little video game character. I like my wrestlers to be a little cooler. So sorry, Evan Bourne. You gone. Now, Kendo, you watched the new South Park Ozempic special. Folks, we're going to be closing things out in just a minute. What did you think of it? Tell the audience.
It was good. It wasn't their best effort. The Disney one was far funnier, but they did a pretty good job of lampooning the American healthcare system, along with people using Ozempic that don't fucking need it, and the fact that you can learn on TikTok how to make Ozempic in your own home. And so the plot of the story is Cartman wants to get thin because in his mind, him being thin would disarm everybody from being able to make fun of him and insult him for being fat while he could still say horrible things to them. So he keeps having dreams where he's running around and making fun of Kyle for being a Jew and making fun of Wendy for being flat and all that stuff. And they're disarmed because they can't say, shut up, fat boy, back at him. So that's why Cartman wants to lose weight, so he can apparently disarm people and insult everybody at will with them having no comeback. And he goes to the doctor and finds out he can only get the Ozempic if he has diabetes. So essentially, they send him, and through Kyle, they go on a quest with Butters narrating it to check all sorts of different like specialists and things like that to try to get Cartman weight loss supplements. Meanwhile, the women of South Park have been going around jabbing themselves in the stomach with Ozempic so that they have a flat stomach and the hourglass figure, and then they're walking around wearing belly shirts to show it all off. Randy chastises his daughter for going to school wearing a belly shirt and says, how would you like it if I showed up to school like that? Which he does. The only problem is his attempt to thwart his daughter from wearing that ends up getting him dragged into the mom group for showing off their stomachs, and he ends up going to these parties to do these weird drugs, which for Randy is doing Ozempic when he showed up with a bunch of integrity weed, thinking that's what they were going to be doing when they told him to come over to do drugs. The other side plot is that the cereals, the Captain Crunches, Cocoa Birds, and all that stuff are characters in this show, and they do not like the fact that people are losing weight and not eating cereals. So they go out to destroy all the fucking Ozempic. Meanwhile, all the Ozempic is missing because the women of South Park, unable to get it, turn to crime and start robbing pharmacies in order to get the Ozempic. The culminating part of the show is the boys have been ordering their supplies of stuff to make weight loss drugs in their garage from India. The cartoon characters from the cereal show up, kill everyone at the factory, and then go to South Park to intercept the truck shipment that is going to the boys to give them their drugs to make their Ozempic. Meanwhile, the women of South Park are now also on the rampage, and they're trying to stop the truck, and poor Randy gets caught in the crossfire. And at the end of the show, that's about it. That's there. I guess it's worth a watch. It's like 45 minutes long. Put it on, eat dinner, and just kind of relax for a little while. It's enjoyable. Probably not a South Park I'm going to go back and watch anytime soon. I might watch it again just to see if I missed anything, but it's not like the other ones that they've put out since then where I'm like, oh man, I got to go watch that. But then again, a lot of the newer South Parks, not as classic as some of the older ones. Like I can go back and watch almost any old South Park and find it enjoyable. Some of the newer ones, I'm like, once was good enough, but it's worth a watch. It's got its moments, but it's not their best effort.
Cosmic Vader asks, maybe it wasn't that good because it was too much relevant, hitting too hard on the nose.
I wouldn't say that it was hitting too hard on the nose because I don't think South Park can do that. They're really good at hitting hard on the nose without it actually coming off as hitting hard on the nose. I think it was a case of being too relevant in that it's going after a specific thing and making fun of a specific thing. And the misusage of that, but it's something that most people don't really care about. The funniest thing in the show was that if you weren't able to afford Ozempic or you didn't qualify for it because you didn't have the right things wrong with you to where the doctor would prescribe it, you could instead get Lizzo, which was much, much cheaper. And all Lizzo was just not giving a shit about what you look like and body positivity, like meditation therapy. But one of the side effects was you could shoot crap out of your ears. So there's that. But yeah, that was like the funny little side plot. And then like Sharon goes on Lizzo because she can't get Ozempic and she's walking around. She's like, yeah, I'm out of shape and I'm overweight, but I'm beautiful. And I just think I'm just fantastic the way I am. So that's what happened to her when she was on Lizzo.
Oh. Yeah, I need to catch up and watch it. The last one blew me away, so
I remember Lizzo fucking did a fucking reaction to that, and it was just she was so horrified by it. I was laughing my ass off at that. I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, she's just so hilarious now. So I can see that easily.
Yeah, well, you can always find her on the street corner where stunning meets brave.
that was a Wolverine.
They had no dancers though, because they all hate her ass too.
Nick, on the other hand, loves Lizzo. So send all your pictures, your gifts of everything of Lizzo to the Twitter because Nick is usually the one operating the Twitter.
Got 2 boppers, Nick. I'll rock 2 boppers with you. Don't let him fucking bully you. Okay, do some Appalachia. Let him bully you.
You may be on an island.
Nick's from Appalachia. I'm not. You're getting us confused.
Middle-aged white women love Lizzo, Nick. We're gonna clean up, son.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Not true.
Why don't I get to go, Dion? I thought we were cool.
You have a channel to take care of, Jeff. Do some typing or something. I don't know what to make 4 more videos. Jeff, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Oh, I'm coming to this party.
Jeff, you're implied.
McLean style.
We've seen some shit together. We gotta get Nick in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, go.
I don't know, man.
Go do it, dude. You know.
He's not tall enough. You gotta be this tall to ride, and that's 6'4" and up. Wait, Dion, you're not 6'4". Shit.
No, he's not.
I'm gonna say
I'm just taking it all for myself. Anyway, Ron Thunderheart, thank you very much for this list of PS3 games. Hail, Jeff. Well, my PS3 got Transformers, War for Cybertron. I've played that game. Heavenly Sword, haven't played it. SSX, played it. Bourne Conspiracy, remember it, haven't played it. Love Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, never finished Edge of Time. Prince of Persia was great. I liked the first Assassin's Creed as well. And I also played Saints Row 2. That was my system that I played Saints Row 2 on every day in college. I fucking loved that game. Now, Dion, on the other hand, he had all the new PS3 games, so he'd go down to his dorm to play SmackDown versus Raw 2008 or 9, whatever you had back then.
9, 10, 11.
Yeah, we played them. I remember going to get those games launch day with you.
Yep.
God, back when you had to do
and
that.
Man, put that shit to legend and just fucking. And I would just, especially when you could just buy the thing to unlock all of them, I would just do that.
You could still do that.
Good.
But I tell you, man, they changed the gameplay, so you trying to play on Legend ain't going to be what you remember. Everything's different.
Man. That's part of the fun is relearn the goddamn controls. I'm down.
It's so good. I don't want to sound like a commercial and misconstrue my praise of liking a game. But Rod Thunderheart also says, and the OG God of War trilogy is always replayable. Yes, it is. I enjoy the God of War trilogy. Don't play the new ones, but I loved the original trilogy, just like Star Wars. Rod Thunderheart also says, "Hail WCBS coming soon, the Thunderbomb."
Nice.
Well, thank you.
I like it.
So, guys, I think tonight was a thunderbomb of an episode. Folks, thank you for joining us. Remember, on the way out, go over to Kickstarter. Help Wokebusters cross into the 10% funded in just a day. That's a nice way to start it off. And like I said, I haven't even really begun. We're going to be talking with a lot of cool people. I'm going to be showing up on other places. Again, I'd like to thank our friends over at the Side Scroller Podcast for having me on today. We had a wonderful show. So after tonight, if you want more of us, do two things. First off, after this, check out our videos. As we said at the beginning, folks, you can help us grow on YouTube by watching more content. YouTube told us they will not be putting us in a lot of recommendeds because of the way the system works. So to help us grow and reach all of our audience, we need your help. And what you can do is just watching our videos and checking out another one sometimes. It does really matter that much. So folks, we appreciate you and we want to keep doing this and keep on growing. It's funny, more people keep rolling in as we're slowing things down. I guess people like late night shows. I guess a name like Road Class Bullshitters is perfect for late night entertainment, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
Damn right.
So let's see. I'll be Conan O'Brien. Dion, you're Andy Richter. Kendo, you're Andy Richter. Dion, you're Max Weinberg, and Nick would be like Robert Smigel.
La Bamba.
Yeah.
I'll take Weinberg.
Dude, he's awesome. The Conan O'Brien show is the shit. That is the best late night talk show of all time. So that is my stance.
Yeah, and it's sad that like they're still trying to make that a thing, and nobody cares for it anymore.
I'd go Craig Ferguson over Conan O'Brien, but that's just my personal preference. The
Cohen
Zone was fantastic, but I did love Craig Ferguson.
Craig's awesome.
Ferguson and Conan were the shit. They were good. They were really good.
I was genuinely heartbroken when Craig Ferguson announced that he was ending the show.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure.
Didn't he?
That one.
He did it for a short time, right? Didn't he only do it for like 2 years?
No, he was around for a few years. It was like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought it was 5 or 6, and then and then he kind of, and then he's always open to mental health and shit. So he was like, I'm done. I can't do anymore, and that shit hurt, man.
The Late Show with Craig Ferguson was on for 10 seasons.
That's what I was about to say. That show was on for like 10 years, dude.
Damn. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, he was around for a long time. I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah,
he was great. Oh my god!
I watched
the Drew Carey show though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And I got my big boy job where I had to be up early in the morning, so I couldn't stay up. So I'd DVR it and I'd just fall behind and wouldn't be able to catch old Craig, and except for on Fridays. And the next thing I knew, he was going to be off the air. And I'm like, fuck. I finally got time to watch you again, and you're going away.
Yeah. It was personally done to piss you off, Kendo.
Which I understand because I love Craig Ferguson. I don't know why he'd be coming after me.
But because CBS personally dislikes you.
I mean, it's possible.
I don't know what you did. You know what you did. We're not going to say it on air.
I mean, I've changed CBS. I was going to say WCBS. We've appropriated that name for our own thing, so maybe they just blame me. Like everybody on Twitter always blames the white guy whenever they come after the fucking channel for something.
Yeah, you hear Phil?
Dude, it's terrible because I have a lot of really good friends who are white. Not you, Kenda, but other ones.
That's fine.
Same here, actually. Not you, Kendo.
That's fine.
I mean, Kendo, you're my good white friend, and I think that's part of the problem.
They're just jealous.
Oh, just like the internet wants, you're getting shit on.
Yeah, they're like, fucking, he doesn't text me about football and other funny shit.
I totally don't. At all.
Don't tell you guys. Sorry, you're left out of the loop.
Because he's an 1824 farmer and he doesn't understand what I'm saying to him.
I mean, you can read books from the 1820s and understand what they're saying. That's all I'm saying.
Not everybody could, motherfucker.
We're not saying that everybody could read the books, but everybody could fucking talk and you'd understand what they were saying.
The majority of those who can't read the books
Can still talk.
That's who you're interacting with.
This is like a sliding scale metric, like the Acolyte. It's like the people
No, it's
in the
not a sliding
20th century in 1842,
You have
right
to
before
earn the
the
weight of
gentrification
those.
of New Orleans. Like what? I don't even know. Canadian Spider-Man, shout out to you, my friend. It's good to see you, Spidey. We always need you in this time of difficulty. Spider-Man's always there to have your back, guys. This has been a fun show. I think the hashtag of the night is hashtag blame Kendo, though. Hashtag blame Kendo. Dion can't read. There we go.
Oh my god.
That's the name of the show.
One more thing. I got to promote my friend's show on Tubi before he gets mad at me. It's called The Studio. Can I show it real quick? Can we do this really quickly?
As long as you don't get a copy strike.
It's just the Tubi plate is all it is. It's just a Tubi plate is all.
Of course.
Yeah.
Tell people about it. I'm not gonna play it or anything. That's what it is. It's called The Studio. It's on Tubi. It's for free. Tubi is free, a free platform to watch shit. So yeah, you can go watch it for free. 3 episodes. My friend and Mark Law's in it. It's a new thing he's done. He hasn't done shit in years. He's been taking care of his parents and finally acted and done something that's hilarious. Fucking love this guy. Go check it out. It's for free. It's on Tubi. You have no excuse. Folks, that's The Studio on Tubi.
Yeah, dude, I'm busy.
Yeah, you're busy teaching Dion how to read. That's going to be our next comic book.
Other way around.
Here's what you do. You do the time travel thing where Dion and I get sent back to like 1900, but we're in the North. And we're walking around, and in the comic, like I'm conversing with people, and Dion would say things, but when they talk back to him, it's all jumbled.
That might cause a little bit of a problem.
Yeah,
let's not do that.
Jeff. Yeah, let's not do that.
You know what? Actually, let's just go back and erase the last minute of the show. No, that's not a good. That's a little time travel, guys. We're gonna time travel to 11:28 on 5:30 of 24, so we can.
Oh my god!
What none of them motherfuckers saying.
Listen, just drop me in a major city in like 75. I'll make it through, and I'll make sure the 80s are even better. Okay.
What if the major city is Hanoi?
I'll use a paper map and travel to a bigger city.
Nick's like, I want to go to a major city where there's like a lot of shit happening, and I want it to be in like the 70s. It gets fucking dropped into Saigon in 1975. It's like, oh shit, this was a bad idea.
Okay, an American city in 75. We'll go with that.
Take me back to the summer of 1999 and give me $1 million in cash.
Jesus.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to take most of my money.
You now?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
What I'll do is I'll figure out before I research it. I'll do sports, but I'll look at the .com bubble and I'll see how long I could ride. Basically, I'm trying to enjoy my favorite year on record and ride out the .com bubble to make a bunch of money real quick. Then reinvest into Apple before the iPod comes out and make myself a billionaire, and then just kind of relive the 2000s with a lot of money. And then just kind of like, and then I'll come back and be like, guys, I did it. And you're like I had never told you that story before about how I time traveled and all this shit. And that'll be our last episode of the show. And I have to come clean. I'm like, folks, I should tell you something. I'm from the year 3535.
You're doing the tactical thing. Kendo and I are going back. We get $1 million. I'm gonna put 50 G's on. No, the Ravens were 2000. Who won in '99? Kendo.
The Rams.
The Giants.
No, it was the Rams.
We're putting 50 G's on the fucking Rams. With so what was it? They won by
5. It was 21-16.
We're gonna go. We're doing a fucking. We're going for the fucking under, son. That's how we're making our millions, baby. And then who won?
Literally betting every major sporting event of 1999.
We're just pulling a bit.
Yeah, it's like we'll bet on everything. Like we'll even do like beginning of season bettings. Like the baseball season's starting, so we'll just fucking lay a shitload of money down on like the team to win it from the beginning, so the odds are better.
So
I think it was the Yankees.
Is Isn't one of the things about time travel, especially going to back and trying to alter the future, like once you do that, you enter like a new timeline?
Well, yeah, Dion and I would totally fuck up the timeline, depending on how we did it. If we just made the money for ourselves, we would be making the money for ourselves, the 2024 version in 1999. It wouldn't be fucking up the timelines. So, I mean, there might be little things.
Very minimal effects.
Yeah.
Minimal effects.
Like somehow,
if we don't interact with ourselves, we won't cause a problem.
I mean, yes, but I mean, oh god,
Keep going. I'm interested.
I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it because
hold on, you can't honey dick us. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a drink.
What
Hold on,
could Dion and I mess up? Unless you're like, oh yeah, and then they're gonna take their money, and they're gonna go buy shit and fucking hit up a bunch of hookers and things like that. That wouldn't mess up the timeline either because they get run through every day.
Yes, but then they're getting run through in this new timeline by you, and then
as long as we don't knock them up, there's no problem.
Even as little as something, even as little as you spending money in a different way at that time would mess it up. That butterfly flapping its wings bullshit would like.
For the time, as long as we don't do anything crazy. So like us making $1 million, and like as long as we don't like influence like an election or something.
Yeah, I don't think if Dion and I win all this money and then we go and we buy Big Macs ahead of somebody else that was going to buy them, ends up disrupting the timeline too terribly.
Right. It won't be crazy. We'll have minor
get into
differences.
the butterfly effect chaos theory. Then that's what you like. Approach.
No, for sure. We're just saying the ripples aren't as drastic.
But there's still ripples.
We're going to go tell everybody that 9/11 is going to happen.
Oh shit!
Right.
We're just
That's fucked up.
We're going to do Doctor Who like shit, like fixed point in time. We can't mess with that. We're just here to make a ton of fucking money to get back in our time machine to go back home.
We're just making money off of, at the time.
Sporting events that we know the outcomes of.
Rookie Allen Iverson, his second year in the league. We're gonna make some money off of the greatest show on turf. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna take full advantage because if we would have bet the Rams at the beginning of that season, we would have probably got way better odds. Especially after Trent Green got hurt, we could have probably gotten a shitload of money off the Rams at that point because they were probably way long shots because nobody expected Kurt Warner to do what he did.
Well, so especially like because
make all that money.
Didn't Marshall miss like week 5 or something? Like if we would have bet week 5 because he had like a sprained ankle or some shit. Yeah. Like we do shit like that, not like something crazy. Like if we spend a lot of money and then we go to LA, Hugh Jackman isn't going to be Wolverine. We're not gonna do shit like that. We're gonna do like, hey,
you're not gonna get.
He made a lot of money off of the Rams. And like maybe Jennifer Love Hewitt fucks us instead of somebody else. That's not gonna fuck up the timeline that bad. You know what I'm saying?
It might because we're
willing to take that risk.
You're interrupting the flow in the time, and if you fuck it up, then it's gonna fuck up it's gonna be a ripple effect, even though it's small ripples.
The probability of it being that effective is pretty nothing too crazy.
It doesn't matter how crazy you go. Literally, you stepping out into the street and stopping something from happening would just mess up the time.
Right, we won't stop anything from happening. Literally, somebody gonna get hit by a bus. We're gonna let them get hit by the bus. We're not there to save people from getting hit by the bus. We're there to make fucking money off of our sports knowledge of the shit that's gonna happen. That's already happened for us.
And go to our dad and say, listen.
No, see that's where we start fucking up the timeline.
Yeah, Dion, don't go there.
Maybe. No. I'm willing to risk that.
You get into the grandfather paradox then.
The problem is, Dion, we in our present state probably don't look a whole lot like we did in 1999. So our dads probably either A, aren't going to recognize us, or B, they're going to lose their shit when they see us. Or they're going to fucking tell everybody, and then people are going to be out to get us to try to steal the technology.
Don't tell anybody. That's how you get around it. You say, listen, I'm your son from the future. I can't tell you anything. Take this fucking money. Don't do anything crazy. Trust me. And then we just leave.
No.
See, now that messes up the time.
Why are you leaving the money with your past self?
Hold on. I can prove something right now. I can prove you guys did it and it didn't work because you're where you are right now.
Well, yeah, that's how you know time travel doesn't exist. On top of the fact, I can get into the specifics about how time travel would never be able to exist because A, no one's come back. 2, time is not linear. Not everything's in a compartment. Never mind. No. We're not going down this rabbit hole right now. It's too late for this shit.
I got this Capicola beef jerky, so I'm listening, man. Like, I got a Topo Chico.
Jeff's re-energized. He's got a snack and his alcohol. He's fucking good
Yeah.
for another
On
2
top of
hours.
the fact that where we're at in terms of space, where we're at right now, if we went back 25 years, we would not land in the same spot. We would land in the middle of fucking space somewhere.
All right, Kendo. Serious question. Say you had a wormhole between 2 times. Like, say it's
I had a wormhole between 2 times.
Could that work then?
Smart ass.
So, like, I can jump in one wormhole and end up in the other wormhole. So, like, I could theoretically walk right here to the wormhole and end up right here in 1999.
Correct. Is that possible?
I mean, a wormhole is just not going to show up right here, Nick. So, no, it's not possible.
Let's say it's a controlled, like, scientific experiment that opens a wormhole between 2 times in a fucking doorway. That negates, the Earth moving and everything else. Would that work?
I mean, I guess. The problem is, I'd have to walk fucking 60 miles to get to a car because my car wouldn't be here.
That. I'm merely.
I do because you're not. I'm the one walking.
Just okay, but like, would that solve the problem of like Earth moving and moving through space and all that other stuff? Would that solve that problem?
Yeah, but how do I know it's going to be the right Earth? What if I end up on a parallel dimension Earth and we're fucked?
That's a math problem. That's a choice you're gonna have to fucking make. You might end up in fucking like, I don't know, 1990 of like world like 224. I don't fucking know.
So if I walk through the wormhole, I go back in time 25 years to the exact spot where I pop out. Would that work? Yes. And then I could go and bet all that money on the sporting events because I know the outcomes of what's about to fucking happen in the major sporting events. And make a bunch of money and then walk back through the wormhole and be a rich motherfucker in 2024.
So then the wormhole would connect the time without you having to like skew the timelines, right? Or not?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, depends on what I do to mess up the fucking future.
Well, you're already messing it up by stepping into it.
Well, technically, yes, because 2 Kendos can't exist in 1999. There was only one of them. So, yes, I'm messing up the timeline.
Same matter can occupy same space. Yes, I've watched Time Cop, yeah.
Thank you. But could that work? Yes, it could work. Would it mess up timeline? Yes, it would mess up the timeline. But as long as I don't do anything substantial to divert people's lives and interrupt people's lives and put different people on different paths and things like that. And even if you do, I feel like the changes would be so minuscule. If I interact with somebody 25 years ago in a different place than I would have, I don't think that's going to screw up the timeline unless I say, hey, by the way, in about 16 months, something's going to happen in New York. That would fuck up the timeline. But, or it would get past me arrested. They'd be like, hey, he looks like that guy.
Yeah. And
then that would fuck up my future timeline because when I come back, I wouldn't be there because I'd gotten sent to Guantanamo Bay and had to eat a cock meat sandwich.
So I'm going to ask you the stupid question, though, Kendo.
Yeah.
If you could go back and stop 9/11, would you?
No, because the effects of what it would, the current world that we would live in would be so radically different. I mean, on the one hand, it's like it would be a good idea to keep all those people from dying and keep that catastrophic event from happening. But what is the knock-on effects from doing it?
But obviously,
you might have a better world.
I think from that, those are the type of things where you're thinking more outside of just the people not dying, the cultural implications.
Yes. There's
so
many different things.
I agree they would be drastically different, but to that question, what we say on the show a lot is one of the reasons why entertainment is so bad is because of 9/11. So that's an interesting point in history. Would things better? Yeah.
I mean, I don't run around telling people it's going to happen and we got to stop it, but that doesn't mean they're going to believe me and I'm not just going to get
that's what's wrong. It's a good thing that I'm here because outside of you not being able to talk to people from 1824, you got to think outside the box, baby. You got to think outside the box.
Outside the box. Outside the box.
Hey, FBI. Hey, FBI.
I feel like it's a bad idea to go, hey, FBI, there's a terrorist attack about to happen. Then they're going to
especially if you look like the
bandage, baby.
Yeah, but the question is, they're going to want to know, how do I know this information? And when I say I'm from the future and it's happened in the past, they're going to put me in a fucking Looney Tune bin.
You have the advantage of, don't like use the computer that you use at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's advantages.
I feel like there's way too many
anonymous tips, man.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why there are a lot of. The time travel is fucking messy. Which doesn't exist, thankfully.
Because
it'd be fucking terrible.
Because I wouldn't be able to print out a bunch of things that discuss it in detail. Because theoretically, when I go back in time, those things would be erased because it wouldn't have happened yet.
Oh, I was about to say, if we're operating with time travel, could you take back footage of it and kind of create a hoax, making people think whatever, and just create this like?
Because here's the thing, this won't work in 1999.
Right. Well, listen, the storage will work. You have to when you're thinking time travel, use what you have at the time. Obviously, you're not going to take a video back of 9/11 before you go back before 9/11. Fool, you gotta use your brain. What we know about what people were doing back then. Hey, there are these dudes who were taking motherfucking airline classes, looking to these dudes, and if not, you might, say on a certain day during time travel, you cut their brake lines or something. I'm just saying, think outside the box. Use your you don't.
I like that story actually.
You don't.
It's a good story.
You guys need to watch that fucking Stephen King
11/22/63 when I'm fucking talking to myself over here.
I watched that.
Sorry. Deanna was too loud as usual, and I couldn't hear you.
Loud and aggressive, right? Go ahead, say it, Nick.
You're right, Dion, is the easiest thing to just say.
No, you were being loud and assertive, Dion, so I couldn't hear Kendo when he was trying to like talk properly and at a good volume. All right, that's what I'm trying to say.
Think bigger.
Again, it's a wonderful crusade, but I feel like the attempts to try to thwart it would cause you to get a lot of heat and interest from the powers that be in a way that would end up stopping it. It would just complicate things and keep you from getting back to the future.
Okay, let's say Kendo did do this and did make the phone call from a fucking payphone and whatever. Okay,
God, a payphone. Did you use collect?
Okay.
Yeah, I called 10-10-220.
Oh my God.
One in the number.
But then, but the FBI is so, their mind is blown by this, and he, does it in front of a fucking, security camera. Well, they find him, but Kendo, who did it, has left. He's gone back to his time, but he's fucked his younger self because they know what he looks like. They find out where he is, and
And I go back into time and find myself in Guantanamo Bay eating a cock meat sandwich.
Exactly.
No, I mean, is that a possibility? Yes. But
yes.
You have to remember, you're thinking of your interaction back in time from the perspective in 2024, right? So someone who's going back in time isn't going, like, about early 2000s cameras and what places. Obviously, this is hypothetical, right? So you don't think like someone from 2024 looking back in 2001. You kind of say, okay, if I'm going to make this call, am I going to make it at a shopping mall where they're going to probably be early 2000s cameras? No, you're going to make it at a bus station with a payphone in a part of a city that nobody goes to, because back then, especially in 2000s, people didn't invest in cameras. They had physical security. So you're thinking. You're planning it ahead of time because you're going back to 2001. You're not going back to 2001 and it's still like today. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're like, hey, what if the NSA gets my picture again? Yeah, they'll have the picture of an older white dude, but they're not going to be like, oh my God, that older white dude looks like this dude who's going to grow up in 20 years, right? So you have an advantage. You got to think like Batman, man. You got to think outside the box, baby. Don't think like you now. You got to think bigger, darling.
We have to do more stuff like this because this is really entertaining. I'm hooked. I don't even know what to say. I keep going.
God. Oh, God, really? Jesus.
I mean,
I'm joking. This is, look, it's been amazing.
I'm about to say, I will pull out my whiteboard and I will put equations on the fucking thing that don't make any sense.
We got to do, one of these nights, let's do like a weird late night, like what is it? Oh God, not Beyond Belief. Yeah, not Beyond Belief fiction. The fucking coast to coast AM style weird late night shit.
Okay.
That's when we'll have our phone in segment. We'll have some fun.
I'm down. I'm down with that.
I'm in.
Yeah, folks, we're gonna experiment and do some weird stuff this summer. To have some
Yeah,
time
you
travel
heard,
is
you
not
heard it
my
right here. Jeff's gonna experiment in the summer doing weird shit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, with you guys each and every week. Oh, P Dubs Duarte 6969. Thank you very much for being a member of the channel. I'm sorry you caught us at the end of tonight's show. We were supposed to end like 30 minutes ago, and we
and then we got on time travel to stop 9/11 and why we should think outside the box and not worry about getting arrested for being a kook.
I just want to turn these into like a sci-fi comic series. I already did anthology issue number 1 and put it in the back of the
so kind of like Drunk History, but it's us talking about like the problems of time travel.
Let's do a whole look at. We experiment with Dunkcast. We're going to do another episode, but let's experiment with a thing like this.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this off air because this is actually a really good idea. I don't want to say too much on air before we actually.
All right, so folks, we're going to get yes.
Guys, we're gonna leave so we can go hang out with each other some more, but without
it's gonna be the WCBS.
All you people stealing our ideas.
We also have a lot of content on Patreon you can pay for if you want to see us do things, other things.
And folks, if you want
to, not those things,
Nick. There's a lot on there. Do you want to learn more about us?
Yeah, Nick's like,
I'll tell you my high school stories.
No,
I went to band camp once. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Our American Pie comment, our Euro trip commentary, I tell you a lot about my life. So if you're ever curious, like, I wonder what that guy was like. I tell you everything when I went to Europe, all this shit. It was fun. But folks, thank you guys so much. Continue to check out Wokebusters on Kickstarter. Let's get it to 10% tonight, and then let's keep it rolling. I will be doing way more stuff. This was just the opening day to really just kind of get the ball rolling and get myself prepared. There's going to be a lot of new content. It's not going to just be Wokebusters videos. You're going to see some stuff to talk about the book, but like today's video from about the Kathleen Kennedy stuff, we're going to keep this awesome and world-class, and we're going to grow. We're going to break records, but we're going to do it in the best way possible. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So, folks, join us for that fun. Be a part of the change in entertainment. Remember, folks, WCBS growing helps become the change we all talk about here on the platform, because then we have more access to bigger audiences and do new stuff with the same ideas and take you guys along with the ride. And also, too, if you feel inclined, you can become a founder of the brand that we're going to create the website for. Renaissance Comics already got the domain, got the stuff locked down. That's going to be what I use to publish because, right, I can draw, I do it all. One of those people. So we're going to have some fun with that in the new year as well. So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
.com.
And by the way, folks, our friend Aurora Uplinks was an awesome listener last week, and we have a special for you guys for just being here tonight.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 2/3%, I got 141 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice.